Baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. Well, the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India Front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India Front. So, therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India Front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to pin over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the Assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place? Because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India Front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. Well, the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India Front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India Front. So, therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India Front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to pin over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but he requires to attack Mamta because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamta Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there is a hope can reconcile the differences within the India front. So, therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde, cutting straight across to the BJP headquarters in the national capital, where BJP karyakartas are already starting to trickle in. There is going to be a victory lap for the Prime Minister after a successful G20 summit. The Prime Minister is going to be arriving in just a short while from now. Over an hour or so is what we're learning. But listen in to what the karyakartas who've gathered there had to say.
मैं अलका राघव निगम पार्षद लक्ष्मी नगर से मैं कहूँगी कि एक बहुत बड़ा उपलब्धि और एक बहुत बड़ा ऐतिहासिक जो पल हमारे लिए G20 के लिए रहा कि 20 देशों के बड़े प्रधान मोदी जी ने जो एक इतिहास रच दिया, ऐतिहासिक पल जो रहा हमारे लिए ये G20 का, उसके लिए मैं सभी देशवासियों के मोदी जी ने जो एक मैसेज दिया कि भाई भारत जो विश्व गुरु बनने एक सपना था हमारा, तो मोदी जी ने कर दिखाया कि भारत एक विश्व गुरु बनने जा रहा है। 20 देशों के प्रधान बड़े बड़े यहाँ पर आए, G20 बहुत सक्सेसफुल रहा। उसमें हम यही कहेंगे कि मोदी जी ने जो कहा वो करके दिखाया, और जो उनकी विदेश यात्रा पिछली बार रही बहुत सक्सेसफुल रही। मोदी जी जो चाहते थे वो उन्होंने करके भी दिखाया, और हर भारतवासी आज इतना गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहा है कि हमारे देश के प्रधान सेवक जो बोलते हैं वो करके दिखाते हैं, बातों में नहीं करते हैं। तो मैं यही कहूंगी कि आज हमारे लिए बहुत हर्ष का विषय है। हम मोदी जी के लिए यहाँ सम्मान के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक एक कार्यकर्ता इतना उत्साहित है कि इतना बड़ा काम देश में हुआ हमारे भारत देश में, तो उसके लिए हम उनको शुभकामनाएं देने के लिए यहाँ पर पहुंचे हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सभी कार्यकर्ता।
BJP karyakartas there trickling in, awaiting eagerly for the Prime Minister to arrive. He's only going to be arriving post 6:30 is what we're learning. Senior BJP leaders are also going to be present there, including Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. JP Nadda, the BJP chief, is also going to be there. It's not just a victory lap and celebrations, it's also work for the BJP. Payal, my colleague, now joining us from the BJP headquarters. Payal, do take us through what the sentiment is there. Or we'll try and reconnect that line with my colleague Payal there. Arun Dhanta, my colleague, also will be joining us shortly from there. Of course, it is going to be a chock-a-block area, not just of the BJP headquarters, but perhaps the area around it also is going to be chock-a-block. Some traffic inconveniences perhaps for Delhiites once we see more karyakartas there trickling in, and then of course the Prime Minister, who perhaps will lead a victory lap on that stretch leading up to the BJP headquarters. Before we connect with my colleagues once again, let's listen in to some of those voices coming in from the BJP headquarters.
देश के प्रधानमंत्री का आज इस खुशी के अंदर हम लोग यहाँ इकट्ठे हुए हैं मोदी जी का अभिनंदन करने के लिए। ये जन जन के लोग यहाँ उमड़ के आए कि उन्होंने कहा कि पहली बार इस देश के प्रधानमंत्री ने अपना नौहा पूरे विश्व में मनवाया है। आज हम लोग सब यहाँ खुशी मनाने के लिए, मोदी जी का अभिनंदन करने के लिए यहाँ पर आए हैं। आज तक देश की आज़ादी में पहला प्रधानमंत्री है जिन्होंने हिंदुस्तान को इतनी ऊंचाई पे ले गए हैं कि आने वाला समय पूरे वर्ल्ड में हिंदुस्तान पहले नंबर में पहुंचेगा। आज हिंदुस्तान कितना बड़ा कोरोना हुआ, सब कुछ हुआ, लेकिन नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में आज हिंदुस्तान की इकोनॉमी जो है वो चौथे नंबर में, हमने चाइना को भी पिछाड़ दिया है। ये सारी उपलब्धि नरेंद्र मोदी जी की है।
Anshul also now joining us live from the BJP headquarters. Anshul, do take our viewers through what exactly the mood on ground is. We're given to understand that with each passing minute, the crowd is only increasing.
So yes, as you rightly mentioned, with each passing minute, the crowd is increasing. The environment is absolutely elated. The BJP workers are waiting for the Prime Minister to arrive, which he will arrive in the next few minutes, is what we have been told. If I could show you in the visuals over here, the kind of excitement that is on the ground can very easily be seen from the visuals that are being broadcasted from on here at Ground Zero. We can clearly see the manner in which the entire celebration has been planned today by the Bharatiya Janata Party, just to thank Prime Minister for the kind of work and for the kind of good work that we have seen happen during the G20 summit. I'll speak to a few people. मैम, आज आप लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं, कितनी खुशी की बात है, और G20 समिट आपने देखा, गर्व हुआ देखकर?
बहुत ज्यादा गर्व हुआ। घर का एक एक बच्चा इतना खुश हो रहा है, सब देशवासी खुश हो रहे हैं। खुशी का तो कोई सीमा नहीं है, अपार सीमा से बाहर अपार खुशी हो रही है, और हम उनको धन्यवाद देते हैं, बारंबार धन्यवाद देते हैं, उनको साधुवाद देते हैं। उनकी आयु लंबी हो, स्वस्थ रहें, तभी तो आगे काम करेंगे, और जितना काम करेंगे, जितना आगे जाएंगे हम लोग, उतना ही हमें भी अभिमान होगा। अभिमान वो वाला नहीं, वैसे वाला नहीं, एक गर्व का अभिमान। और हम हमेशा ईश्वर से उनसे प्रार्थना करेंगे कि वो स्वस्थ रहे और आयुष्मान रहे, और ऐसे ही उनकी शक्ति बनी रहे काम करने की।
आपने G20 समिट देखा होगा, काफी अच्छा G20 समिट रहा, दुनिया भर के नेता है, दुनिया भर के लीडर्स हैं, कैसा महसूस हुआ? और आज यहाँ बीजेपी ऑफिस में आए, इसकी क्या वजह है?
मैं आज, मेरी उम्र 45 साल की हो गई है, बहुत सारे प्रधानमंत्री देखे, बहुत सारे देश में अलग अलग लोग देखे, लेकिन सदियों में कोई एक ऐसा व्यक्ति जन्म लेता है जो अपने देश को बहुत आगे लेके जाता है। उन सदियों में जन्म लेने एक व्यक्ति हैं श्रीमान नरेंद्र मोदी जी, जो केवल देश की सोचते हैं और देश को आगे लेके जाते हैं। जो देश हमें वीजा नहीं देता था, आज हमारे देश में आके हमारी तारीफ कर रहा है, शुभकामना दे रहा है, और आज जो देश अर्थव्यवस्था अच्छी हो रही है, देश का हर व्यक्ति खुशहाल हो रहा है, और पूरे संसार में भारत का नाम रोशन हो रहा है। और आज जो देश हमें बुरी नजर से देखते थे, दुश्मनी नजर से देखते थे, आज वो कह रहे भारत महान है, और भारत को महान बनाने वाला केवल भारत का एक महान पुत्र है, श्रीमान नरेंद्र मोदी जी।
As you heard there is absolute excitement that is on the ground at this point in time. In the next few minutes, the Prime Minister will be entering from this side after a small roadshow that will happen right outside the gates of the BJP headquarters. And once the Prime Minister enters, he will be welcomed by flowers that will be showered upon him by the workers of the Bharatiya Janata Party who have arrived over here to thank the Prime Minister for the kind of fame, for the kind of pride that has been inculcated in them, especially after the G20 summit. From there, the Prime Minister will go inside the BJP office, and this is the probable area from where the Prime Minister will then come ahead and wave to the crowd and accept the kind of appreciation that has been shown towards him by the workers of the BJP. So yes, there are just a few minutes. We are just a few minutes away from seeing that celebration starting out here at the Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters, as the Prime Minister is going to arrive here somewhere around 6:30 to 7 p.m. is the time that we have been told. Post that, once the Prime Minister greets the crowd on the ground over here who has gathered here to thank the Prime Minister, post that Prime Minister will go and join in that very crucial CEC meeting. So yes, the next few hours are going to be very, very hectic for the Prime Minister per se, but that is something that the Prime Minister is used to, and we have seen the manner in which he works over the last almost a decade now.
Right, and that's really the sentiment that is being celebrated there. It's not just the G20 success, but there is a lot for the BJP workers to celebrate. There's also a lot of motivation that is required, and this is going to be one of those instances. Elections for 2024 are not far away. The BJP is in election mode, which is why we're going to be seeing the CEC meeting and the finalizing of the second list for Madhya Pradesh is concerned. That is also slated for later in the evening. Before now, it is about celebrating the Prime Minister, celebrating his success personally as well. That is what Payal, the BJP workers are there to celebrate, isn't it?
You know, I'll tell you a little bit about BJP and the kind of discipline that really exists. You know, if my video journalist PK Das can show, this man on your screen is the BJP state president for Delhi. What is he doing over here? He's not sitting inside. He's standing here and getting all the karyakartas inside. He's making sure that there's discipline which is followed, because hundreds of karyakartas are there lining up the streets. So this is Virendra Sachdeva, who's risen up the ranks as a party's karyakarta to become the Delhi state president. He's standing up over here. वीरेंद्र जी, कितने लोग आने वाले हैं? आप लगातार यहाँ पे खड़े रह के कार्यकर्ताओं को अंदर कर रहे हैं।
मुझे नहीं मालूम, दिल्ली की जनता का उत्साह है, आप देख रहे हैं, सब लोग आ रहे हैं, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को देखना चाहते हैं। जो उत्साह माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में भारत जो पूरे विश्व में कीर्तिमान स्थापित कर रहा है, ये कार्यकर्ता का उत्साह दिख रहा है।
आपका पार्टी का डिसिप्लिन है कि आप अध्यक्ष हैं दिल्ली के, फिर भी आप बाहर खड़े हैं, लोगों को अंदर करवा रहे हैं?
हमारे लिए दायित्व महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है, मैं कार्यकर्ता हूँ, ये सब भी कार्यकर्ता हैं, हमें उसी भाव से काम करना है।
Well, of course, we'll try and get in to see who's coming in, because the cars are being allowed inside. Let me just see which leader is coming inside through these cars, you know. So obviously there are more and more leaders who are going to be coming in as we speak. Let me just see, because one of the leaders from Madhya Pradesh should be in, or at least one of the central CEC members should be inside the party office. We'll have to just wait and see who's gone inside. So these are the cars that are going inside. The celebrations and everything aside, there's work to be done at the end of the day, and that work is most important. This is a party which has showed that they work 24/7, Pune. They have no holidays, they have no Diwali, they have no Holi. All of these days you see the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, the party Adhyaksh, all of these leaders are putting in hard work to make sure that the party continues its success, continues its successful run. But yeah, this is a massive occasion. It's very difficult to show you through the crowd over here, but you know, I'll still request PK Das, who's trying to make the best effort to show us the visuals. There are party karyakartas who are coming in, and several hundreds of them are outside. I can show you a glimpse of that over here. Virendra Sachdeva is asking each of them to be brought inside. There are other party leaders who are there. Obviously, look at the crowd that is actually standing outside, waiting to get a chance to enter inside, to come and catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister, to come and
there's
welcome
definitely
the Prime Minister.
going to be more people and more karyakartas than the BJP headquarters perhaps can contain, which is why there are a lot of people that are already trickling in, even though the Prime Minister's arrival is somewhere over an hour away. Do stay on with me. Arun Dhanta, my colleague, also joining us from that very headquarters of the BJP. Arun, like we've been seeing, people are already coming in. There are queues of cars that are lined up outside the BJP headquarters. Have you seen any senior leaders of the BJP trickle in yet?
Well, see, right behind me is the entrance gate of BJP headquarters. This is the gate through which Prime Minister Modi, in fact, will be coming in. And in fact, you can see there on the gate Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, and of course the BJP State Chief V.D. Sharma. Remember that today is the CEC meeting, in which of course Prime Minister Modi will be chairing that meeting. This CEC will of course discuss the candidates for Madhya Pradesh election. You can see Shivraj Singh there at the gate. On the both sides of that road, you can see BJP workers are standing, and this is how it will be when Prime Minister Modi would be entering to the BJP office. And we are given to understand, like within half an hour, Prime Minister Modi will be reaching here, and in fact all the CEC members and the BJP senior leaders will be present here at the gate to welcome Prime Minister Modi. Now we are seeing Shivraj Singh Chauhan, you can see, is giving that opportunity to the BJP workers to click some selfies with them. Of course, this entire event has been planned to thank Prime Minister Modi for the successful conclusion of G20. Now, of course, what we have spoken to these BJP workers, they are saying that it was a mammoth task for the government to organize, to host 20 powerful countries in national capital, but it was managed because of the efforts, in fact, efforts of the Prime Minister Modi, and also they are highlighting this fact that Prime Minister Modi ensured that this G20 event is not restricted to one or two states. He ensured that the events related to G20 go to every part of the country, and that was the reason why 60 cities were identified to actually organize those 200 events. And most importantly, the people's participation. That was something which was portrayed through this entire event of G20. You know, the kind of culture, tradition which was part of the events which happened in different cities. As per the city's tradition, values and culture, it was reflected in each and every meeting of that G20. And in fact, during the G20, when it happened in the national capital, the kind of inconvenience perhaps people had faced, they are also saying that they are ready to face, in fact, in future such kind of inconvenience,
Right.
if that goes for India's image and into the larger image that India can build at a global stage. So they were ready to have that atmosphere when they were not going out of their houses. They were happy with the fact that country was
It
being
was about the
represented,
country,
and
it was not about an individual. It is about what India has done at a global stage as far as the G20 success story goes, and that is what the BJP is celebrating today, along with the Prime Minister, of course. And we're going to be seeing more and more BJP leaders there come in. We just had Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, come in at the BJP headquarters. There is going to be, remember, a CEC meeting that is held after this victory lap as well, where the second list of candidates for the MP elections are going to be decided upon, which is why Shivraj Singh Chauhan is there. We'll keep a track of that and, of course, the sentiment and the mood on ground there. For now, it's time for a quick break.
Whenever I had seats, there would be only one joint India front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he is not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab, because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to win over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the Assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summons, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India front. So therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to win over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India front. So therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to win over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem.
Welcome back. This is Nation at 5 and we are cutting straight across to the BJP headquarters here in the national capital, where BJP karyakartas, BJP senior leaders from Madhya Pradesh are already trickling in there. There is going to be a victory lap for the Prime Minister, celebrating a felicitation of the Prime Minister by the BJP karyakartas and senior leaders of the party in after the successful weekend as far as the G20 summit went. We're also going to be seeing business done by the BJP, because strategy for the Madhya Pradesh elections is something that is going to be discussed after this victory lap. My colleagues Payal and Arun joining us from on ground there, getting us all the mood and feel. Payal, coming to you first, we're already seeing more people come in. The gates of the headquarters there for now have been shut. Are we expecting some dignitary to arrive in a short while from now? Payal? We'll try and reconnect that line with my colleague Payal, but Arun also joining us live from that very location. Arun, we're seeing the gates of the BJP headquarters. For now, they've been shut. We saw some VVIP movement a short while ago when Shivraj Singh Chauhan arrived. Are we seeing more dignitaries arrive there? Is that why we're sort of seeing barricading that's happening right outside the BJP headquarters?
Well, that's right. I'm showing you those visuals behind me. On the both sides of the entry, you can see BJP Karyakartas have already started lining up, and this is the route through which Prime Minister Modi will be coming in. And of course, these Karyakartas shower petrol on Prime Minister Modi, and of course they will chant the name of Prime Minister Modi. And in fact, right now you can see people like Vijay Goyal is also with us. Vijay Goyal se hum baat karenge. Vijay ji, kuch कहना चाहेंगे G20 की सक्सेस में?
नहीं, G20 को पूरे विश्व ने मान लिया है कि वो एक सफल आयोजन था, और हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री जो हैं उन्होंने जिस तरह से आयोजन किया और एक मैसेज दिया वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का, वो बहुत बड़ी बात है। टूरिज्म को भी बहुत बढ़ावा मिलेगा, संस्कृति को बहुत बढ़ावा मिलेगा, ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें।
किस तरह से स्वागत करेंगे आप लोग पीएम का?
क्या कह रहे थे आप?
ठीक है, so that was Vijay Goyal. In fact, I'll show you other leaders. In fact, you can see Vinod Tawade, BJP National General Secretary, BJP National President JP Nadda has already arrived. He is inside. BL Santosh, BJP is the National General Secretary Organization, Union Minister Ashwani Vaishnav, and in fact other Delhi BJP leader are present there. You can see all these people who are here. They are waiting for Prime Minister Modi to come so that they can thank and welcome Prime Minister Modi for the success of G20 event. We all know, in fact, you can see Kailash Vijayvargiya, one of the General Secretaries of BJP, he's also there. So what we are told is that some ministers and of course the CEC members will come out here at the gate of the BJP headquarters to welcome and receive Prime Minister Modi. So in a short while from now, we are expecting Prime Minister Modi to arrive here, and in fact then he will be welcomed by BJP workers before he get inside the BJP office for that CEC meeting. We are already seen Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, and VD Sharma, State Chief, arriving here. They are inside waiting for Prime Minister Modi to arrive.
Right, Anshul also joining us on this broadcast. Arun, stay on with us. Anshul, we're already seeing BJP senior leaders, vice presidents of the party lining up there right at the entrance of the headquarters. Are we expecting perhaps the party chief JP Nadda or maybe Union Home Minister Amit Shah to arrive before the Prime Minister does?
So yes, the entire CEC that is going to happen right after this entire episode or this entire rally, all the members of that CEC will have already started coming out here at the BJP headquarters, and in the next few minutes we can expect the senior leaders who are part of that Central Election Committee of the BJP. They will also be entering, and they would be along the Prime Minister, because as soon as the Prime Minister would arrive, he would come at this location and he would wave at the crowd, take their appreciation, and post that the Prime Minister would then go back and join in the meeting. So yes, the vision of the Prime Minister is clear that the main focus today is to make sure that the CEC happens in a good manner. On the other hand, this is something that has been done and organized by the workers of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and hence we are seeing such excitement that is perpetuating out here. In fact, the slogans or the chants of Modi Modi have already started to reverberate across this BJP headquarters. I'll try and get in a word from a few of these workers. आज आप लोग यहाँ आए हैं, आज यहाँ पर आए हैं, क्या उम्मीदें हैं आपकी, और क्या G20 में देखा जिसकी वजह से इतना गर्व है आपको?
जी,
आज यहाँ पर पहुंचे मोदी जी का वेलकम करने। मोदी जी तो मीटिंग के लिए आ रहे हैं, क्या जरूरत थी कि मोदी जी का आज वेलकम करने की जरूरत?
अरे घर का मुखिया जब कोई बढ़िया काम करके घर पर आता है तो सारा घर उसके स्वागत के लिए तैयार नहीं रहता है। हमारा मुखिया प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने G20 में अपार सफलता प्राप्त की और अब वो जो है हमारे राष्ट्रीय कार्यालय में आ रहे हैं, तो यहाँ का जितना कैडर है, जितना हमारा संगठन है, उनका अभिनंदन नहीं करेगा।
G20 का समिट देखा आपने, कितना गर्व हुआ देख करके जब दुनिया भर के राष्ट्रीय नेता यहाँ
हुआ कि जिंदगी के अंदर ये हम लकी हैं कि हम इस समय भारत के अंदर जीवित हैं और हमने G20 को देखा है और किस तरह हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने पूरे विश्व के ऊपर अपना जो डंका जो है और अपना भारतवर्ष का झंडा फहराया है, ये गर्व से सीना चौड़ा हो जाता है।
For all the BJP Karyakartas that have gathered there, this is the most obvious way to end the G20 success on a note. It's the most obvious thing to do for them to felicitate the Prime Minister before that all crucial CEC is held. We'll keep getting you the mood and flavor from on ground from the BJP headquarters there. My colleague Anusha takes this broadcast forward. Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching Viewpoint. I'm Anusha Soni. We continue to keep our focus at the BJP headquarters. Prime Minister is expected to arrive. What's on the agenda? The agenda is the celebration of the G20 summit here in the national capital. That was a roaring success for India. And of course, the big elections on the card. Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, the Hindi heartland that goes to polls in the next couple of months. And that's a decisive battle to watch out for. Crucial decisions are likely to be taken. We saw Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's present there. The Central Election Committee of the BJP is meeting and, of course, strategizing the narrative, the key positions that the party has to take, and in individual state, what kind of approach would the BJP really take? It's a bipolar contest in most of the states, especially in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, where the BJP would want to retain its government, especially in the state of MP, where it's a fight, it's a close fight between the Congress and the BJP. To give us more perspective about what's happening at the BJP headquarters, how crucial the show of strength is really going to be. And yes, in state elections, the local narrative, the local issues is very, very important. But there's always this larger narrative and the double engine ki sarkar narrative that the BJP has taken to town and said, look, not just at the national level, at the grassroots, it's also at the international level that India has been able to leave its mark. And the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, Narendra Modi, along with the regional satraps, has always been a very important part of the pitch, of the tone and tenor of the Saffron Party. And that's exactly what they're going to do in the Hindi heartland as well. Keeping in mind that these three states are, of course, the states which speak Hindi. It's one of the regions where the spillover effect from states like UP is going to be quite high. The fact that most of their star campaigners, including Yogi Adityanath, are going to be an important part of this campaign trail. Not to forget, Yogi Adityanath was today in Madhya Pradesh. He went to Jain Mahakal temple to offer his prayers and to seek blessings, and he is going to be an active part of this entire campaign. What kind of strategy is at play and the celebration of the G20 success, how critical it is for the political optics of it? No doubt that substantially the summit was very successful. Most of the international commentators and observers have said that. But in the domestic politics as well, this positioning of how G20 summit is very crucial is going to be an important one. Let me try and cut across to our reporters as well who are tracking this visit. Payal is live with us from the BJP headquarters. Arun Dhata is also joining us. Anshul is also with us on the broadcast. Arun, give us a broad sense. What are we likely to witness today? What is the plan really like? What time is the Prime Minister is expected to arrive? Am I audible to you, Arun? Can you hear me?
Yes. If you can just repeat your question.
So, Arun, I asked you about what the plan really is like. When is the Prime Minister expected to arrive? It's a crucial CEC meeting other than the G20 celebration. So, what exactly is on the agenda? What exactly does the evening really look like?
Well, see, in a short while from now, Prime Minister Modi will be reaching BJP headquarters, and remember that he is coming to BJP office to participate in that Central Election Committee's meeting, which will be discussing the candidates for Madhya Pradesh. And right behind me are the visuals of the BJP headquarters. You can see the flurry of BJP supporters on the both side of the entry of the BJP office, and in fact we are seeing that people have already started coming here at the gate, especially BJP leader, the likes of General Secretary BJP Vinod Tavade, Kailash Vijayvargiya is there, BJP's national media in charge Anil Baluni is also there, and as and when Prime Minister Modi will be reaching at the gate, we will see the likes of BJP Chief JP Nadda, Union Home Minister Amit Shah and various other union ministers who are present here to welcome Prime Minister Modi. But coming back to this event which BJP has planned, it is all about the success of the government in organizing G20 summit, and most importantly the way and the manner in which it was organized, and also of course the support, the participation which people of this country have given to this program. That is something which is going to be part of this celebration, and all these BJP Karyakartas, BJP workers who have gathered here from Delhi NCR will be welcoming Prime Minister Modi from the entry of the BJP headquarters. They will be of course showering petals on Prime Minister Modi, and Prime Minister Modi, we are given to understand, will also wave to them, accept their respects, and of course the welcome slogans which they will be chanting, and we are told that within 15 to 20 minutes perhaps Prime Minister Modi will be reaching here, and before he gets inside the BJP office and get in the action mode for the CEC meeting, he will of course spend some time with the BJP workers here at the entrance of the BJP headquarters. And of course what BJP and government is in trying to show through this program is that it was a program, the G20 event was a public event. The participation of public was something which was immense, and perhaps in the history of G20 no country had managed to organize such programs the way India had done. The programs, more than 200 programs in 60 cities of the country. It was planned in a way that the delegates who came to India, they would see the color of India from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and that happened and successfully happened. And the culmination of that G20, when you had 20 countries, powerful 20 countries head in the national capital, it was smoothly organized. There was complete shutdown in the national capital at that time, but people actually embraced that shutdown. They are saying that they're welcoming such event, even if it requires for them to completely stay indoors. They're happy with that, as long as it is related to the pride of the country, and therefore Prime Minister Modi's decision, and of course the planning with which they have planned the events in the entire country is something for which these people are here, and thank and welcome Prime Minister Modi.
All right, it's going to be a grand celebration. It's going to be a grand welcome, and they say, well, our family member has done very well. That's what one of the BJP workers said, and that's why we are celebrating the success of the G20. National pride. This sentiment dominates the kind of narrative and the discourse that has come in from the Saffron Party, especially around the G20 summit. And rightly so, the culture, the heritage and the kind of ethos India has been very proudly displayed at the G20 summit, and also the many events that Arun was talking about that were held across the country. Multiple events, dozens of events were held. I want to cut across to Payal as well. She's with us on the broadcast. Payal, coming to the second limb of what exactly is happening, it's the CEC meeting, and state of Madhya Pradesh is very crucial because that's the state where BJP is fighting to keep itself in power. We saw Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's present there. Who are the other key dignitaries who have arrived?
Well, the members of the CEC are coming in. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, is already inside. Devendra Fadnavis, another member of the CEC, is also inside. Kailash Vijayvargiya is also here. He's also from the state of Madhya Pradesh. He's also here as well. A lot of leaders will be coming in. We just saw Ashwini Vaishnav go in a short while ago. Ashwini Vaishnav is the election co-in charge as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. And in a short while from now, we expected Bhupendra Yadav also to be here. Bhupendra Yadav is the election in charge for Madhya Pradesh. Now, Madhya Pradesh is a very, very crucial election. I'll tell our viewers why. Because Madhya Pradesh is the oldest organization for the BJP. And the last election did not really go the way they would have liked, and they lost that election. But of course, Jyotiraditya Scindia managed to get a lot of people along with him. And that actually led to the downfall of the Kamal Nath government. And then Shivraj Singh Chauhan was reinstated as a chief minister. So it's quite a challenge as far as that is concerned, because Shivraj Singh Chauhan is one of the longest serving chief ministers of the BJP fold. He's somebody who's trying to hold on very, very strongly to his fortes. He's facing a stiff challenge. He's facing a massive anti-incumbency. And that's one of the reasons you've seen a lot of, focus on Madhya Pradesh, especially with the Home Minister Amit Shah placing himself in Madhya Pradesh. He's in charge of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, whereas JP Nadda will be taking charge of Rajasthan as well as Telangana. So obviously the BJP getting itself organization ready ahead of the crucial elections, and you saw the first list of candidates already put out earlier as well. Today we are expecting that they probably will put out another set of candidates. They'll finalize another set of candidates. I'll tell you what happens in the CEC. So the state, when they had the working group meeting, just a couple of days ago at JP Nadda's residence, that was a core group meeting. So there the state discusses the names that they really have brought with them. There could be a list of 4 or 5 names. And that is then zeroed down to 3 names, Anusha. And those 3 names are brought before the CEC. The CEC discusses these seats by seats, discusses it candidate by candidate, and then puts its stamp or seal on the candidates. And since all the parliamentary board members are also part of the CEC, which means that the highest decision-making authority of the party gives its approval, after which the list is released as well. It has never been seen in BJP's history that they release a list much before the election dates were even announced. But this time around, you've seen that happen. You've seen that happen in Madhya Pradesh. You've seen that happen in Chhattisgarh. The idea of the BJP is that they want to give their workers enough time to go and prepare on ground, because this is going to be a difficult set of elections, and elections right before the Lok Sabha elections, given the fact that they lost Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, all of these in 2018. But you saw the kind of stupendous victory that Modi got in 2019 in Lok Sabha. So Lok Sabha is different, and state elections are different. So that's the kind of preparation that you're seeing as far as the party is concerned.
All right. I want to get across to Anshul as well. Let me quickly get in a word from him. Anshul, in any political discourse, there are various paradigms. And of course, if the local issues, the regional issues are very important from the political sentiments point of view for the BJP to generate its vote. National pride is the overarching theme that BJP has always used as a plank to put forward its agenda, to put forward the kind of issues that they want to work upon. And that's going to be the theme largely in these state elections as well, as Pal pointed out, that these are the elections right before the big battle of 2024. The BJP workers on the ground, what kind of preparations and how much time does the Prime Minister arrive? How long will this, welcome of sorts really going to be? Give us a broad sense, Anshul.
So yes, as you rightly mentioned, that national pride is the plank in which many of the elections have been fought in the past by the Bharatiya Janata Party. But this time around, the BJP is also prepared to make sure that any sort of ground that they have lost, especially in Madhya Pradesh, that people could work upon that, and that is the reason why we are seeing such hectic parleys happening even before the elections have been announced. Talking about the environment, talking about the atmosphere, I'll just move out of the frame and try and show you. This is the BJP headquarters, where in the next few minutes, the Prime Minister will come out and will wave to this crowd and will accept the appreciation that is being given to him because of the kind of success that India has gotten during the G20 summit, and also the manner in which the leaders of the world got out here in the national capital, and the Prime Minister actually went ahead and projected a new India, a new Bharat in front of the world. That is something that has filled each and every person with pride. I'll speak to a few people who have gathered over here. सर, कितनी बड़ी बात है, आज मोदी जी आएंगे, आप लोग अभिवादन करने के लिए G20 देखकर कैसा महसूस हुआ?
ये सारे लोग अपने आप को गर्वान्वित समझ रहे हैं कि ये G20 में इतनी सक्सेस हासिल की है, बल्कि G21 बना देना ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। देश में अपना, देश ही नहीं अपने विदेश में भी अपना नाम कमाना, और ये हमारे लिए बहुत गर्व की बात है। और
शायद मोदी जी भी देख रहे होंगे अभी आपको लाइव, क्या कहना चाहेंगे प्राइम मिनिस्टर?
मैं मोदी जी को अपना भगवान समझता हूँ। भगवान, ये सारे लोग मेरे हिसाब से मोदी जी को भगवान समझते हैं कि मोदी जी ने जो कर दिखाया है वो एक भगवान का अवतार है, जो इतना बड़ा काम कर दिया है, और सबको, पूरे विश्व को एक सूत्र में बांधना बहुत बड़ी बात है ये, और सबको पीसफुल सबक सिखाना कि कैसे देश को आगे बढ़ाया जाए। कोविड के टाइम में इतने हमने यहाँ से विदेश में लोगों की जान बचाई। ये हमारा देश है, हमारा मोदी है, मोदी है तो मुमकिन है। भारत माता की।
So yes, there is absolute excitement that has now engulfed the entire BJP headquarters. In the next few minutes, we are expecting the Prime Minister to enter from that gate, the far gate that you are seeing on your screens right now. Prime Minister will enter from there. And
We'll
post
continue
that
to
there
stay
will
with
be
those live
flowers
visuals, Anshul. We'll continue to stay with you, Arun Dhata, and my colleague Payal Mehta getting us all the details. Those are the visuals from the BJP headquarters here in the national capital. The Prime Minister is expected to arrive in a few minutes from now. This continues to be our focus here on Viewpoint. Joining us on the broadcast is Neeti Jain, the spokesperson of BJP. Rashid Kidwai, who's a senior journalist, is also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Abbas Haider from the Samajwadi Party is also with us on the show. Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, Neeti. I have to begin this by asking you that no doubt that G20 was the biggest success that we have seen, and yes, in the history of foreign policy, this will be remembered as one of the moments, as one of the points where India was able to get some kind of cooperation and a mandate in a deeply divided world. But there are many within the opposition ranks who argue that an international event is being used for political gains. What would you say to the naysayers?
I think it's pretty hilarious for somebody who goes abroad and use the national platform to trash India, have a problem with us portraying India in a good light, and they say we are using the international platform to our benefit. I really think they need to rethink about anything that they're talking about. That said, G20 has been a huge success. We have been placed on a national, on an international platform as a force to reckon with, and no matter who says what, I think the G20 has portrayed India as a whole, because we've had events across the year and throughout the country, and the international delegates have seen the kind of thriving democracy that we have across the country, and we have seen how we have portrayed our culture, we have portrayed our the legacy that we have as a country to the world. So to say that it is being used, I think it is just being elevated on a platform and being portrayed to the world. I don't know who would have a problem with that in any way whatsoever.
Mr. Abbas Haider, do you agree with that? If there's an international convention or an international event where India has done phenomenally well, why shouldn't we celebrate it? BJP is saying we're not using it for any political gains, but it's a moment and an occasion that should be celebrated, and that's exactly what we are doing. Mr. Haider. Abbas ji, aapko meri awaaz aa rahi hai? Can you hear me? I think you have to unmute yourself, sir. All right, we'll just connect to Mr. Abbas Haider. Mr. Rashid Kidwai is also with us on the broadcast. He's been hearing this discussion. Mr. Kidwai, on a broader point with you, national pride, of course, is one sentiment on which the BJP has, pitched its different agendas or the issues that it wants to work upon. And in the state elections as well, national pride, your cultural pride is going to be a very important sentiment with which the BJP puts forward its own narrative. And G20 is an important part of that narrative.
Absolutely, Anusha. It was a national event and done with a great kind of effort, and of course, Prime Minister and his entire team needs to be complimented. But this is this was a national event, and as I said, all of us have reasons to feel proud. Now, this overt politicization, I was hearing your correspondent and others saying it, linking it to somehow with Madhya Pradesh elections and all. I find this this formulation a bit problematic. What happens if people of Madhya Pradesh give a different verdict, or Chhattisgarh, or any election? I think a state assembly election, I think it is very unfair to Mr. Modi, to G23, to G20, and the spirit of nationalism that we have and the kind of parliamentary democracy. We cannot put it to election test. Even if BJP wins, it will win for its political reasons, not because of a Chandrayaan or a G20. These are national things. I'm not trying to take away any glory that Mr. Modi and his party deserves, but these are the government things. I mean, to say that it will be a game changer in Madhya Pradesh election is a misnomer. And second thing, what if it it doesn't happen? For elections are a very complex phenomena. If for some reason BJP loses Madhya Pradesh, will it be a reflection on G20? No, I don't think so. As a citizen, I resent this kind of formulation or this kind of test being added to a diplomatic success of the country.
No, I agree with you there, sir. But I think the BJP or any political party in this country, including Congress, they're smart enough to understand that on these international events, you can't really tout your narrative. And especially in state elections, which you rightly said are far more complex and complicated. But I think any political narrative is a multi-dimensional paradigm. And in that paradigm, in the context of national pride, somewhere G20 will be an important one. And that's why we saw the events around G20 happening in different parts of the country. Mr. Abbas Haider, a grand welcome, quote unquote, is being accorded to the Prime Minister at the BJP headquarters, congratulating him on the successful G20 summit that was held here in the national capital. How do you see these developments? Haider Saab, if you can hear me.
Party just believe in events, and they have to get a welcome from their own party leaders. People of the country are not welcoming the Prime Minister. See, we are the 17th country out of the 19 member of G20 to host G20 summit. I mean, the Prime Minister and the government was waiting for the election so that they could host G20 summit just before the election so that they could get some political benefit out of it. See, this party, Bharatiya Janata Party and the Prime Minister just believe in event management. And what have we got out of this event? We have spent 4,100 crores of hard-earned money of our citizens. What have we got? Have the government, has the Bharatiya Janata Party and the government, they passed a resolution in G20 about illegally occupied land of our country by China and Pakistan? What did our citizens got in return? This is the most important question. Our people, they feel disappointed because they have not.
But Haider Saab, G20 in all honesty is not a political platform. I mean, you couldn't have had that kind of resolution there. It's not the United Nations General Assembly or Security Council.
We are a vibrant democracy as well. And what the US president is saying in Hanoi, he's saying that, you know, I'm tense about the situation of press freedom in India. He's talking about crucial issues. The US president did not get a chance to address the press and media in India.
We'll talk about all of those facets. You've raised those points. We'll talk about all of those facets. And Neeti, I'll give you the time to respond to each and every argument that has been made there. We're slipping into a very short break, but here on Viewpoint, this remains our top focus.
Can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the Assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India front. So therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to win over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the Assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India front. So therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile?
All right, we're cutting across to those live visuals from the BJP headquarters. What we're hearing is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to arrive, and I believe he's arrived at the BJP headquarters. We'll just have those visuals confirmed to us in just a bit from now. BJP President Mr. JP Nadda, Home Minister Amit Shah, and the other members of the CEC, including Mr. Rajnath Singh, have arrived at the BJP headquarters. The visuals on your screen right now. This is the Central Election Committee of the Saffron Party of the BJP. They're going to take crucial decisions on the party list, the candidates which are going to be fielded, more importantly, the narrative which is going to go forward, maintaining a certain kind of balance as to vis-a-vis different concerns, whether it's the caste aspirations, regional aspirations, political ambitions of various leaders. All of that is going to be very, very important for the BJP, especially in a state like Madhya Pradesh, where the contest is a very, very close one. That's the state which the BJP is fighting to retain power. Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan right now are administered by the Congress party. Not to forget, these are the stalwarts and the regional satraps of the BJP who have gathered there. Neeti Jain with us on the broadcast. Mr. Rashid Kidwai also with us. BJP leader Manoj Tiwari speaking right now. Let's try and cut across to those reactions and the sound bites really coming in. As I was saying earlier, this is a celebration of the G20 summit held here in the national capital, which was a roaring success. Niti Jain and Mr. Rashid Kidwai continue to be with us on the broadcast. Niti, the Samajwadi Party had raised various questions right before we went into the break, and they raised questions about freedom of speech and expression and everything being turned into a PR event by the BJP. Respond to that, please.
You know, I am almost surprised when any of the opposition comes out and say, "Isse humko kya mila?" Bhaiya, aapko chahiye kya tha? What is it that you wanted and that you did not get? India has had 73 documents that have been passed through this entire summit, and that is the highest in any of the G20 summits that has happened. And the corridor that we are creating, the biofuel alliance that we are doing, I don't know what is it that the opposition wanted, and it is not correct to look at everything in in connection with the elections that are coming up next. Not everything is about the election. I think this is way beyond. This is about Bharat. This is about us as a country that is being respected across the world. I don't know what is it that the opposition wanted and they did not get. And if you're talking about the freedom of press, I think the US itself, 6 out of 10 apparently, and I'm quoting a Pew Research study, the press, the journalists in US say we have no press freedom. So I think Biden needs to look into that first. I don't want to comment on foreign policy where I am not equipped to speak, because the government agenda is different and the party agenda is different. But the freedom of press, I think, is very relative in that sense.
That debate for another day.
Yeah,
I believe that calls for another debate in this country about the freedom of press and the various index that come and tell you about how free any press is, and the credibility of a lot of these have been questioned. But as I said, that's not the topic that we are talking about right now. Professor Sangeet Ragi is also joining us on the broadcast. Professor Ragi, good evening. Thank you so much for speaking with us. How do you see these celebrations at the BJP headquarters? Not to forget, it's the all-important CEC meet right before the assembly elections in the 3 crucial states.
I think that certainly the BJP as a party would be celebrating the success of G20 meeting. But at the same time, now the serious work is before them. The assembly elections are going to take place in sometime in November, and therefore BJP will have to set its house in order. Particularly these 3 states are very crucial, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, where the BJP will be going all out. At least in 2 states they will have to they will work hard, they will have to work very hard to dislodge the Congress party. There is a divided house in Rajasthan, so it will not be a big task. Probably, provided they keep their house in order, and the strategy of the BJP is that they will be keeping Prime Minister on front. There will be no chief ministerial candidate projected in advance by the BJP in Rajasthan, and also in case of Chhattisgarh. So obviously these meetings are very crucial for the BJP, and they will have also reflections on the preparation for 2024 in setting the narratives, also the preparation for 2024.
Right. Mr. Rashid Kidwai, coming to you. You were talking about the fact that how the success of an international event like G20 cannot be a poll plank. It's not something on which any political party can go to the town and say, look, you have to give us votes because we've got the success at an international platform at a summit that was held in New Delhi. You're right in saying that, but it somewhere adds to the components of national pride. Foreign policy is something that this government has put at the forefront and often touted that, look, India's stature, India's position across the world on international platform has only been accentuated with the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Yes, Anusha. See, the government of the day should get credit for such, holding G20 and even, the success of Chandrayaan, everything. But we must make a very, nuanced distinction between what government of India does, we as a nation do, and what the BJP, Mr. Modi's political party, is doing politically. It is in BJP's own interest is not to link these successes at the diplomatic thing or in administrative or economy or in space technology to elections, because the problem in that, as I said, you see, if Madhya Pradesh goes verdict goes against the BJP, would BJP accept that there is a poor reflection of people on the success of G20 or Mr. Modi's diplomatic initiatives, and the kind of we as a nation are doing to bring about peace among warring nations, etc. So I think this overt politicization of it. The BJP's problem is that they look at all these things as some kind of political masterstroke. They must take a deep, breath and see the functioning of the government is very different from functioning of a political party.
And overt politicization. I'm going to take that criticism to Neeti. Neeti, why are you overtly politicizing an international event, which no doubt was a success, but is not something to be quote-unquote celebrated like this at the BJP headquarters?
No, so if we want to welcome and award our leader as for a successful event, you think this is politicizing? And secondly, sir, everything that happens in a country has to somewhere depend on the political will of the leader of the party that is in power, and you cannot take it away from that. Nobody is saying that this is the political plank and everything, but development is our political plank, be it on the state level or on the national level, and you cannot alienate the two out of the equation. So it is the political will of the leader that has made all of these things happen, and you cannot take it away from him. And just because we want to congratulate him in our own party office, we're not even talking about taking it to the state or in anywhere, but you have a problem with that as well. I really don't understand why. This is something that the entire country should celebrate, not just the BJP.
How do you see this criticism? Has there been an overt politicization of foreign policy in Indian political discourse? Do you agree with that criticism?
I don't think so. Foreign policy is also the part of the politics. Certainly, the driving force behind the foreign policy is protection, promotion, and acceleration of your national interest. But at the same time, the party in power who drives and who basically pilots this, your national interest, would also try to, capitalize or make political capital out of it. So certainly, if the BJP goes tomorrow in elections, when Mrs. Gandhi won, the party, the government of the day won 71 war, certainly it had a political mileage. Similarly, when you organize such a big event and there is no element of corruption involved in it, the Commonwealth game was also a success story, but at the same time, it was, messed up with, tons of corruptions. Every day we used to have headlines in newspapers and also on the television screen about what went wrong, what was the corruption, magnitude of the corruption, quantum of the corruption involved in organizing the Commonwealth program. Here is a success which has been celebrated and which has been acknowledged, acclaimed by parties across the political ideologies. Even Sasi Tharoor congratulated the success of the government on the issue. So certainly when the BJP goes to elections tomorrow, suppose the BJP, it would have been a messed up, completely a failure, and there would have been no consensus on the agenda of G20. Would Congress party have not taken it to the political domain? Certainly it would have gone to. You look at Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was in a state in addressing election rally, and there was water logging at some places which continued for 1 or 2 hours. She made it a part of her election speech.
Yeah.
So certainly tomorrow, when the BJP goes to Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan in election, certainly it would like to capitalize on the success of G20, Chandrayaan, and many more such success stories in space technology and also in the defense sector.
All right, Mr. Rashid Kidwai, do you think that at the state elections, you rightly said that the regional aspirations, ambitions, issues, that's what dominates when a state elections takes place. More importantly, look at the example of the state of Karnataka, where hyper-local issues were extremely important, and that's how the Grand Old Party was able to cement its victory. I'm sure that the BJP is aware that the dynamics of Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan are very different. And of course, religion in those states is going to form a very important part of the narrative, especially in Madhya Pradesh. But do you think the national pride and that sentiment somewhere finds its place to pitch BJP as, the stronger contender or the double engine ki sarkar?
First of all, Anusha, I want to clarify that I have nothing against this celebration that is going on in party office. The BJP is very... No, I'm just clarifying to Niti that there is BJP is within its rights to highlight. I am only against this kind of political formulation that this, the success of G20 will have a, kind of spillover effect in assembly elections, because there was a reason why some of the former prime ministers would not, campaign extensively in state assembly elections, because the outcome would, they didn't want to make the outcome as some kind of referendum on their, national perspective and national policies and the kind of achievements that they were trying to, achieve. So this has been a rationale. And moreover, in the context of G20, I want to, let my esteemed friend, Professor Ragi, know that is, of course, the government of India did it. The BJP as a political party played a big role because it's a BJP government. But the first event had taken place in Udaipur in Rajasthan. So the G20 events, some of them were organized in the opposition-ruled states also, and with success. So therefore, this was a national event. Now, if the BJP wants to put it on a political test in assembly elections, let them be. Problem is, what if the voters give a different verdict? Like I remember, Anusha, I'll just see in Himachal election, Mr. Modi said in assembly election that don't look at the candidate, vote for me. I'm the person. And people of Himachal did not do that. So it somebody can interpret it that it was a poor reflection on Prime Minister Modi, or the same thing in Karnataka. So if the Prime Minister is putting his prestige at stake in assembly elections and the success eludes them, then obviously the Prime Minister's personality would come into question. I'm saying, please don't put G20 under the state assembly test.
All right, I'll come back to you, Niti, and I'll give you the opportunity to respond. But before that, a quick update from my colleague Arun Dhata, who's at the BJP headquarters. Arun, what exactly is happening there? Mr. Rajnath Singh, we saw, has arrived. In how much time can we expect the Prime Minister and other leaders to arrive there?
Well, any moment from now, we can expect Prime Minister Modi to reach BJP headquarters. And in fact, we just saw Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh arriving BJP headquarters. These are the visuals right behind me. This is the entry gate through which Prime Minister Modi will be entering. And we are also told that in few minutes from now, Union Home Minister Amit Shah will be reaching here. And of course, we are seeing people, senior leaders of BJP have already started gathering at the main entrance of Bharatiya Janata Party. This is the place where they will be welcoming Prime Minister Modi. Of course, before that you have Delhi BJP workers on the both sides of the entry gate of BJP office, and as and when Prime Minister Modi enters, we will see that these BJP workers will be chanting the slogan of Jai Shri Ram, and also will shower flower petals on Prime Minister Modi for the successfully concluding the G20 in the country, where 20 heads of state participated, and that entire event actually happened very smoothly, without any issue, without any problem, with that event. And therefore, this event has been organized here at BJP headquarters to thank Prime Minister Modi, to sending out a message to global community that India can organize such an event where 20 countries of the world, the two-thirds population of the world can gather in the country, and we can organize such an event. So in fact, we've seen the likes of JP Nadda, Rajnath Singh, Ashwani Vaishnav, and other organizational leaders of BJP are already present here waiting for Prime Minister Modi. In fact, we can see that Prime Minister's route is already there, so there is no movement outside the gate and the route which Prime Minister Modi will be taking, which means that any moment from now we can expect Prime Minister Modi to reach here in the BJP headquarters. Of course, firstly he will be welcomed by BJP workers, and then he will enter the BJP headquarters to participate in that CEC meeting, which will of course decide the candidates for Madhya Pradesh assembly elections. We know that already 39 candidates have been declared by BJP in their first list on 17th of August, and in either tonight or tomorrow we will expect the second list of the BJP candidates from Madhya Pradesh. Remember, this time around BJP has deployed a different strategy altogether. They are focusing on those seats initially which they have never won, and all those 39 seats which they declared on 17th of August are those seats which BJP had never won. So perhaps on the same lines we will see the candidates which will be decided today, the tickets which will be released by BJP will be those who BJP had never won. Remember, at this moment there are 103 seats in Madhya Pradesh on which BJP is focusing largely. Those seats are the ones which BJP had lost in 2018. So this is going to be a very, very important meeting of CEC today, that who all are going to actually make it to that list, second list of BJP candidates.
All right, who all are going to make to that second list? In any moment from now, we can expect the Prime Minister to arrive. There would be celebrations, as we told you. There are a lot of party workers who have gathered there to celebrate the G20 success, and of course the political debate around it that continues to go on. I want to cut across back to Professor Sangeet Ragi, Rashid Kidwai and Niti Jain, who are with us on the broadcast. Niti, first to you, and trying to take on that point that Rashid Kidwai was talking about, that if you make an international political event as some sort of a plank on which you want to hitch your narrative or hinge your narrative and take it to people, then any kind of defeat would also be a reflection on that, and that doesn't add up. That's not the right political calculation that any political party has. Niti.
But Anusha, I don't think we have done that at all. It is the frustration of the opposition parties that probably cannot think beyond every election, that they are fighting to fight and win both. So I think it is the opposition party and the imagination of their own heads that they are talking about only elections. It is the will, the political will and the vision of the Prime Minister that today we celebrate as a country the successful G20 that we had organized and executed. And to look at it, if it was just the opposition, I think we would still be asking about hame isse milega kya? So it was the vision of the leader in the country that has taken ahead, that has brought about an entire country excited about an event which was a foreign policy event. There were colleges involved, there were schools involved, and the entire country was involved, and no other country has been able to do this. And certain leaders from the opposition also have come out and praised what has happened. So I really think they need to get over themselves, and elections are different, and you cannot blame the BJP to fight elections with everything that we have, because that is what we do. We fight every election with all we have to win the election. But to put G20 on that pedestal, and that in my opinion is a very myopic view of looking at this achievement that we have had as a country. It is not
Mr.
the
Kidwai,
BJP
I think Niti has a point there when she says that BJP has not really done that. They might be celebrating the success of the G20 in a big way. There might be a political statement both explicitly and implicitly there. But that's not their major political plank or the narrative when they go to the state assembly elections. And for it to be made like that is a distortion of the argument or the narrative. Mr. Kidwai.
Well, I'll be very happy if BJP, refrains from doing that, because that is what I'm saying. The success of the Indian state and government of India is in some ways it cannot be the same measure success of the BJP as a political vehicle of winning elections, etc. I am saying there is always a temptation, as I was hearing that kind of discussion that the BJP is having difficult time in Madhya Pradesh, etc. And Mr. Modi is standing in the international, stature culture and G20 and all can be a game changer. So I was responding to that it is naive on the part of BJP to be putting itself to a test on the success of G20 and Chandrayaan etc. to assembly elections, because assembly elections are very complex. There are a lot of issues are there in incumbency, performance of a particular MLA etc. So it may be a reflection, and that's why I gave example that in the past when we have 14 prime ministers, about I can say 10-12 of them did not participate in assembly elections in a very active way because they didn't want to put their prestige at stake. But then the BJP and Mr. Modi are within their rights to be doing that.
All right, I want to zoom out from the G20 success and zoom into the state assembly elections. Not to forget that after these celebrations, there's the crucial CEC meet which will be conducted. Top leaders of the BJP are present there. Prime Minister is set to arrive in any moment from now, as this meeting is going to be very crucial. There's already one list that has been put out, especially for the state of Madhya Pradesh, which is critical for the BJP. Professor Sangeet Ragi, as far as the states of Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, of course Telangana, are concerned, how crucial is this battle for the BJP for the Hindi heartland?
I think that this is very crucial in the sense that a bulk of parliamentary seats comes from these states, and BJP cannot afford to lose these states. One can argue that, look, even in 2019, the assembly election, prior to the Lok Sabha election, BJP had lost, but it reversed the trend in the Lok Sabha election. That is said and done. Here, every situation cannot, the two situations cannot be compared, that they would have the same pattern of unfolding times to come. I wish to reflect that in all elections, there are a couple of issues which anchor the elections.
Sure.
And it is not one or two issues that a political party takes to the battle. So certainly BJP will be having a lot of issues that they will take to the political ground in contesting the election. But I am pretty sure that every political party who is in power would like to celebrate and like to capitalize on the success of what Mr. Modi has done. More importantly, I think that the G20 should be celebrated not only in terms of the consensus that has been built across such a huge range of issues, almost 73 and 74 subjects. If you look at the work in Bali and other G summits, you will be finding that the work and the consensus that has been built here are almost 4 and 5 times larger than what happened in the past. So that way also it is a great success. More importantly, the kind of vision and the kind of consensus that BJP built. So this has put the stature of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a different pedestal altogether.
Yeah.
So everybody has now recognized that he is the one who is not to be led by the masses. He is the one who has the capacity to lead from the front. He is the one who is true leader. And even not only at the domestic level, even the global leaders have accepted the leadership of Prime Minister Modi in terms of the vision. I'm again emphasizing, in terms of the vision, nobody has thought of one planet, one future. This is something which catches the eyes and attention of each and every nation, be it Pakistan, even those countries which are which do not like India, being success on any count. Even they are saying today that yes, it's a marvelous achievement that the Prime Minister Modi has done.
The achievement of consensus at G20 indeed was a historic moment by any measure. Nobody can deny that. The political outcome of it, or there is a overt politicization of it, that's open to debate, and that's what we're doing. I want to cut across back to Mr. Rashid Kidwai. Mr. Kidwai, taking a point from you, I'm told my colleague Arun Dhata is also with us on the broadcast. First, a word from Arun about what's happening at the BJP headquarters right now. Arun, what's happening at the headquarters right now? Give us a sense.
Well, see, Anusha, we all are eagerly waiting for Prime Minister Modi to enter, but we are given to understand that Union Home Minister Amit Shah is now about to enter the BJP headquarters. We are seeing that the gate is opening now. Perhaps we'll see Home Minister Amit Shah's cavalcade entering. But of course, before that, you'll see BJP leaders have made a line there. You know, starting from, of course, Manoj Tiwari is there, Vinod Tavade is there, Delhi BJP chief is also there, Harshvardhan is there. So all these leaders have made a long line to actually welcome Union Home Minister Amit Shah. It seems that now, yes, of course, Amit Shah, this is the cavalcade of Amit Shah, JP Nadda. The JP Nadda is entering now. This is the cavalcade of BJP chief JP Nadda. You can see JP Nadda sitting at the front seat, and in fact he was also welcomed with those flowers by BJP Karyakartas. Now you can see BJP chief JP Nadda entering the BJP headquarters, a long line of BJP leaders to welcome BJP chief JP Nadda. And now when we are seeing JP Nadda here at BJP headquarters, it means that in a short while, you know, we can expect Union Home Minister Amit Shah and then Prime Minister Modi to reach BJP headquarters. You can see as the entry happened, as the entry of JP Nadda happened, we are seeing that BJP Karyakartas have started, shouting Jai Shri Ram, slogans here at the party headquarters, and they are all waiting for Prime Minister Modi to arrive here. This is JP Nadda waving to the cameras. You can see on your screen. In fact, Bhupendra Yadav, Union Minister, was also there, who amongst the people who welcomed him. Now these people are entering inside the BJP office, and once again when we'll see Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Prime Minister JP Nadda will be coming out to, of course, welcome them. But this is the cavalcade of BJP chief JP Nadda. You can see continuous music at the backdrop. And these people are eagerly waiting to see the glimpse of Prime Minister Modi and to thank him for for successfully organizing the G20 event in the national capital, and of course the cooperation that people of the country gave to this event is also very, very significant. And therefore, as government planned to make this event a people's event, that's how it turned out. And Prime Minister Modi, in fact, we had seen ever since the conclusion of this event, we are seeing he's participating in few programs. He's thanking those people who are involved in the exercise of G20. Earlier, the other day we saw Prime Minister Modi visiting Sushma Swaraj Bhavan, where he thanked all those officials, MEA officials, PMO officials who were part of the G20 exercise for the entire year, for a successful exercise of G20. And now, of course, these are the people of Delhi NCR who are here to welcome Prime Minister Modi for his efforts that his government has put to make it a grand or a successful event.
Absolutely. Mr. JP Nadda has arrived there. We are hoping that Union Home Minister would be there in some time from now, and then Prime Minister Narendra Modi would arrive at the BJP headquarters. This is a grand celebration that has been planned at the Saffron Party's headquarters here in the national capital after the successful completion of the G20 summit and, of course, the historic consensus that was achieved between the key countries between the member nations of the G20 summit. CEC, the Central Election Committee of the BJP, will sit today to brainstorm and decide about the next course ahead. There's already one list of candidates that has been put out from Madhya Pradesh. That is an exception to the usual norm, the pattern or the strategy which is followed by the Saffron Party. Usually they don't put out the lists so much in advance, but considering the fact that Madhya Pradesh is being seen as a very, very close contest between the BJP and the Congress party, the workers need to be mobilized. There needs to be a ground level, booth level management that needs to be ensured. And perhaps that's why you have those lists coming out so much in advance. As Pal was pointing out, there's, I believe, one more list that is yet to be put out. And that's going to be crucial. The fact that Shivraj Singh Chauhan is present at this meeting. You also have other leaders like Hemanta Biswa Sarma, Mr. Rajnath Singh and other leaders present as part of the CC, points out that this meeting is going to be an important session in setting up the tone, tenor and the narrative ahead of the crucial assembly elections. The foreign policy plank or the success of the union government at various international platforms has been one of the core issues, has been one of the key narratives that the BJP has put very strongly even in the national discourse. They have touted that, look, with the leadership of the Prime Minister, with the work and the consistent work of the present government, with the kind of decisive mandate that this government has, we have taken the reputation and the stature of India on an international platform to a whole new different level. And this is intrinsically linked to the discourse around national pride and national identity, cultural pride and cultural identity, a cause that the BJP has championed. Even at G20, this was a theme, not just in the summit that happened here in the national capital, but at different events, about 200 events that happened across the country in different parts. This was a very important pitch, tone and tenor that was put out. The cultural importance, the cultural ethos of India and the kind of heritage that we have. In few minutes from now, we are expecting the Prime Minister to arrive at the BJP headquarters. There is a grand welcome that has been planned. It's unlikely. We don't know if the Prime Minister will make a short address or not, but the CC meeting is going to be very, very important. There's a piece of breaking news coming in. Let's cut across to that. And the first coordination meeting of the INDIA alliance that has concluded. Let's listen in to KC Venugopal, what he said after that meeting.
Meeting of the coordination committee was held today at the Sharad Pawarji's residence and attended by 12 member parties. Sri Abhishek Banerjee of All India Trinamool Congress could not attend the meeting due to the summon by Enforcement Directorate arising out of the vendetta politics of Bharatiya Janata Party and the Prime Minister. The coordination committee decided to start the process for determining the seat sharing. It was decided that the member parties will hold the talks and decide at the earliest. The committee decided to hold joint public meetings in different parts of the country. The first public meeting will be held at Bhopal in the first week of October in the issue of rising prices, unemployment and corruption of BJP government. The parties present in the meeting agreed to take up the issue of caste census. The coordination committee authorized the subgroup of media to decide upon the names of the anchors on whose shows none of the India parties will send their representatives. These are the decisions, these are the outcome of this today's meeting. Bhopal, first week of October. Bhopal. On the seat sharing, the coordination committee decided to start the process of determining seats sharing. It was decided that the member parties will hold the talks and decide at the earliest. You know, those who are present here decided these things. We are going to talk to them.
Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. We're getting you live coverage from the BJP headquarters in the national capital where the Prime Minister is set to arrive. We've had, of course, the BJP President JP Nadda and some of the top ministers of the government already arrive at the BJP headquarters for their CEC. The Prime Minister's arrival is awaited and the BJP has of course turned this into a celebration of sorts in honor of the Prime Minister because of the successful conduct of the G20 Leaders Summit in the national capital. We'll also go across to my colleague Arun Dhata, who's actually there at the BJP headquarters. Arun, a lot of anticipation building up. The Prime Minister is all set to come and this was roughly the time he was expected today. Just give me a sense of who all others are present and what is on agenda today as this meeting commences.
Well, see, Shivani, we just saw BJP chief JP Nadda entering the BJP office. He has gone inside. In fact, before him, Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had reached here. Bhupendra Yadav is already here. Ashwani Vaishnav is already here, and all other Delhi's member of parliament, they are also present at the BJP headquarters. So in a short while from now, we are expecting that Union Home Minister Amit Shah and then of course Prime Minister Modi will be reaching here. And before Prime Minister Modi goes inside the BJP office or the CEC starts, these people, BJP people who've gathered here from Delhi NCR will be welcoming Prime Minister Modi. You can see at this moment on the both side of this entry gate of the BJP office, BJP workers are waiting patiently and eagerly for Prime Minister Modi to reach here. And of course, we have seen a glimpse of that when JP Nadda arrived. They welcomed him with flowers and the slogans. Imagine what would happen if Prime Minister Modi would reach. So once he is welcomed, then Prime Minister Modi of course will sit with other CEC members. They will be discussing the candidates for the Madhya Pradesh Assembly election. Remember, the first list has already come out on the month of August, 17 August to be precise. 39 candidates were declared, and before this CEC meeting, of course 2 days back, there was all crucial core group committee meeting which happened at JP Nadda's residence, in which we are given to understand 60 to 65 names have been finalized for second and third list. Today we are told that only 30 to 35 names will be discussed before the Prime Minister Modi, and then of course either today or
it has kind of shifted the attention towards the G20 success, while of course the BJP, the electoral machine that it is, will focus on the upcoming state elections. Some of them they are in power in, so they're defending, and some of course they'll like to rest back. So all of that will happen. But as you can see, the festival, carnival-like atmosphere is because the Prime Minister is coming and close on the heels of the successful conduct of the G20, where India has been hailed as a consensus builder across the world with a lot of support from the West and East, all kinds of countries. That of course is what the BJP workers and party members are wanting to celebrate. My colleague Payal Mehta and Anshul are also tracking this meeting. Payal, coming to you, any chances that the Prime Minister might address this large gathering at the BJP headquarters?
Shivani, it looks pretty unlikely that the Prime Minister will in fact address the gathering, given the fact that there is no stage which has been prepared. Normally when the Prime Minister is set to address, a stage is already prepared on the other side of where we are standing. But it looks like the Prime Minister will come, and my video journalist PK Das is sending us the shots. It's a very difficult situation for the camera person to be in right now, given the fact that there's so much of crowd, so many people around, but he's trying to make an effort. That's the gate of the BJP from where the Prime Minister's cavalcade will be entering. He in fact will be walking in from here, is what we are given to understand. He'll be accompanied by the top leaders of the BJP. There are young, there are old, there are of course a lot of party karyakartas who are there. That place on the top where you can see the lights are glaring, that's the place from where of course the rose petals will be showered on the Prime Minister. This is the normal route that the BJP really follows when they welcome the Prime Minister. This being no different, Shivani, given the fact that the stupendous success that India's G20 run has seen is something that everybody is celebrating across the world. And leave aside India, because India is considered to be the mother of democracy, and the Prime Minister himself has said this G20 is a success of India, it's a success of brand India, and it is Sabka G20 is what has been explained as well. So there's a lot of work to follow. This is a celebration, it's just one part. This is something which just happened very impromptu. The Delhi unit of it has been in charge of making the celebrations happen, but obviously there is work on hand. There is the CEC for the state of Madhya Pradesh to really happen. If you have time, I'll ask a couple of people around who are here, especially the women who've gathered here, to ask them what are they come here to tell the Prime Minister. आप यहाँ पे आइए, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगी प्रधानमंत्री से? क्या कहना चाहेंगी प्रधानमंत्री से?
हम उनका बड़े इंतजार कर रहे, इतने इच्छुक हैं उनको देखने के लिए। पूरी पब्लिक देखो, इतना जोर शोर है। मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूंगी, मोदी जी की वजह से सब कुछ है यहाँ पर।
And there's a celebration, Shivani, if I can show you them here, my video PK Das will show you there's actually a celebrating mood over there. You can see women over there dancing. They're celebrating. It's a huge occasion because the Prime Minister's come back to the party headquarters just within a couple of days. And very interesting, Shivani, years before the Modi government was sworn into power, in fact, just before the Modi government was sworn into power, today was a day on which Modi was declared as BJP's Prime Ministerial candidate. So a very significant day in that respect as well. So obviously, we are awaiting Prime Minister Narendra Modi to come. He should be here anytime. He should be here in the next 10 to 15 minutes time is what we're given to understand.
All right.
The official time of the CEC was from 7 o'clock, so that's going to be delayed by a few minutes.
Absolutely.
But yes,
I think
of
it's
course,
going to be delayed by quite a bit because the Prime Minister hasn't even arrived yet, and he's going to try and spend some time addressing, not if by words, but at least physically being present there with the public. I also have my colleague Anshul, who's been tracking this meeting. Anshul, what are the kind of reactions you're getting? Of course, there are a lot of predominantly party workers and supporters, but any ordinary individuals there as well, and what are the reactions you're getting through this afternoon?
So yes, since this entire event is inside the Bharatiya Janata Party national headquarters, the people who have arrived over here, they are all BJP workers, but yes, the kind of passion that they have for the Prime Minister, the gratitude that they have for the Prime Minister is something that is visible very, very easily on the ground. I'll ask the camera person to pan and show you around the kind of environment that has started over here, the kind of environment that is bringing to come up over here in the next few minutes. We are expecting the Home Minister Amit Shah to arrive over here, post which the Prime Minister will himself come over here and accept the kind of appreciation that is being shown to him by the BJP workers, because they say that this is the first time since the entire G20 has happened that the Prime Minister is coming to the BJP headquarters, and hence a grand welcome is something that is absolutely necessary. I'll just try and get in a word from a few people. मोदी जी आ रहे हैं यहाँ पे. G20 आपने देखा होगा, कैसा लगा जब G20 में भारत की एक उभरती हुई तस्वीर देखी आपने?
कौन सी भाषा में बात करूं, इंग्लिश में कि हिंदी में?
हिंदी में पूछा, हिंदी में बताइए.
अच्छा. नहीं, बहुत अच्छा लगा. G20 के समिट में मोदी जी ने और भारत ने इन सभी देशों का नेतृत्व करा और बहुत सारे लोग आए. बड़ा भव्य आयोजन था और उसी की खुशी मनाने के लिए, उसी की सफलता की खुशी मनाने के लिए आज मोदी जी यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं, तो इसलिए हम उनका स्वागत करने के लिए सारे आए हैं. बहुत ही बढ़िया कार्यक्रम था. हिंदुस्तान की छवि पूरे देश में बढ़ गई, तो इट्स वेरी गुड.
इतनी गर्मी है, इतनी ह्यूमिडिटी में खड़े हैं, थकान नहीं हो रही या उत्साह ज्यादा है मोदी जी को देखने?
भाई हमको इससे ज्यादा खुशी क्या होगी? हमें गर्मी नहीं लग रही. हमारे भारत की जो वर्ल्ड के अंदर अच्छा नाम लिया जा रहा है और सम्मान हो रहा है, इससे ज्यादा हमें खुशी क्या होगी देश के लिए? तो भाई हमारे को गर्मी नहीं लग रही, मगर हमें तो और जोश आ रहा है कि मोदी जी जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी देश के प्रधानमंत्री है, और ऐसा लीडर हमें कभी विश्व में नहीं मिलेगा.
इनसे भी पूछिए.
So yes, this is how the people are excited and elated about. Even in the humidity of the national capital, there is absolutely a lot of humidity that is on the ground. But yes, the excitement of the people who have gathered over here over the last 2 hours, and the numbers are still increasing by every passing minute. But yes, the josh of these people is definitely very, very high, and that is something that can be seen because not only the music but also the songs and dance and carnival-like environment is definitely that can be sensed out here at the BJP headquarters. Remember, the Prime Minister is also not supposed at this point in time to address the crowd as well, but even after that, the people have gathered over here just to get a glimpse of the Prime Minister, who has brought so much pride to the nation by successfully conducting the G20 summit. And
absolutely. Well, that G20 euphoria continues and certainly will continue for the party in power, which is the BJP. The Prime Minister all set to be welcomed, felicitated for the successful conduct of the G20 summit in the national capital. And yes, the conduct of the G20 summit is one thing. There's also, of course, the outcomes of the G20 summit, which the Indian government is being applauded for, not just by experts on geopolitics around the world, but even other global leaders. I want to thank our reporters for joining us. We'll keep going back to them. I also want to introduce Tuhin Sinha, BJP national spokesperson, who's joining us. Tuhin, this is turning out to be a gala affair for the BJP at the party headquarters.
Well, good evening, Shivani. Good evening, everybody. Well, you know, beyond the obvious and the overt achievements of India's presidentship during the G20 summit, you know, we are all aware of the 4 key achievements: the Common Declaration, Delhi Declaration, the Global Biofuel Alliance, inclusion of Africa in the G20 body, making it G20+1, and the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. But beyond that, you need to understand that India has left an impact which remains unparalleled. I would say Modi ji has democratized G2 in every possible way. He has made it a people's movement. 255 255 sessions across the country in 60 cities over a period of 1 year. And that explains why the common people is involved with the success. For the first time, the common person, the common man on the street understands the implication of the success of G20 for India's future on the global stage. Secondly, we have all spoken about Antodaya. You know, we are all aware of the principles of Antodaya and integral humanism of Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji. I would go to the extent of saying that Modi ji has sown the seeds for the realization of Antodaya and integral humanism, the core principles of Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji at the global stage. You know, India is going to be an enabler, a crucial enabler. India is going to generate employment in many other countries with this landmark, international Gati Shakti, if I may call that. And on the other hand, obviously, you have people like Rahul Gandhi who keep, being cynical about the India story, who keep heaping lavish praise on China's BRI at a time when India has given a better alternative for the whole world to see. So that explains why the people are really excited about this momentous occasion in our history. That explains the love and support for Prime Minister Modi after the successful G20 summit.
I want to quickly go across to my colleague Arun Dhata one more time. Arun, there seems to be some delay taking place. It's almost already 7:10. The meeting time was 7 p.m. I believe, as Payal mentioned, Home Minister Amit Shah is also yet to arrive.
Well, that's right. Any moment from now, we are expecting Union Home Minister Amit Shah to reach here. In fact, there is some sort of activity here. Senior leaders are reaching at the entrance of BJP office, which means that Union Home Minister Amit Shah would be reaching any moment from now, because we see the wait for these BJP Karyakartas is increasing, and they are just waiting for Prime Minister Modi's glimpse, and we are given to understand that from that gate which you see on your screen, Prime Minister Modi perhaps walk towards the main entrance of BJP or BJP office, and in that way these workers of Bharatiya Janata Party will be able to get a proper glimpse of Prime Minister Modi, and they will also be able to getting that opportunity to thank Prime Minister Modi by showering flower petals on him or by raising slogans in favor of the government and Prime Minister Modi. So in a short while from now, because the way activities are taking place here, senior leaders are coming at the front, which means that Amit Shah is about to reach. And once Amit Shah arrives here, because before Amit Shah we have seen Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, BJP Chief JP Nadda and other union ministers along with the CC members, they all are here, and the wait is getting over now. Once Union Home Minister Amit Shah enters the BJP office, then of course we will be expecting Prime Minister Modi to reach here, and that's what all these BJP workers who have gathered here from Delhi NCR is waiting for the moment when Prime Minister Modi would be reaching here. So any moment for now we are expecting first Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and then of course Prime Minister Modi.
Okay. We'll keep our eyes on that. Arun, stay with us, as will Payal and Anshul, my colleagues who are actually at the BJP headquarters. Amit Shah yet to arrive, and of course then, or maybe along or close on the heels of that, we're expecting the Prime Minister to arrive too. There's not supposed to be a speech like the ones he has done from the ramparts of the new BJP headquarters in the national capital, but he is likely to, of course, meet and greet with the crowd that has assembled there at the headquarters. I want to go back across to Tuhin, who is with us. Tuhin, there's been a lot of talk about the G20 successful conduct and more, and sure enough, the government deserves the credit that it deserves. It cannot be taken away from it. But how big of an electoral impact do you see this having? Because, there are, of course, as the opposition would point out, and mind you, as we speak, the opposition India bloc's meeting has ended just a short while ago. For them, the issues that actually concern the common, ordinary citizen of the country are completely different.
I don't need to talk about the impact, global impact of it. The African Union president of the African Union has been raving about the contribution of India on the global stage. He believes that India is a bigger superpower. India is a bigger superpower today than China. So I don't really need to reiterate the global impact of the success of this G20 summit. But where the opposition is concerned, I think, when the opposition says that, there are issues with inflation, they just need to check their own data between 2012 to 14. I would say the opposition needs to be a little more gracious on an occasion like this. I really appreciate the attitude of Dr. Manmohan Singh and Shashi Tharoor, who have given full credit to India's diplomatic success, where 900 hours of effort was put in over a period of 9 months to arrive at a consensus on the Delhi Declaration. But, you have people like Rahul Gandhi, you have some other Congress leaders who still, poke fun at our G20 summit, who continue to crib about prime ministers. They find all kinds of alibis to crib about their own failures. But I think, this is a defining moment for India. And in the next 3 to 4 years, you will see the impact of, the impact on the ground of the India, Middle East, European corridor. You will see the impact of in the inclusion of Africa. All the investments that China had been putting in Africa would get replaced substantially by India. And I think, the 55 nations of African Union have been very candid in their praise, in their appreciation of India's role at the global stage. I think India has emerged as the undisputed voice and the leader of Global South. And I think the impact of it goes beyond what the present opposition of this country can really comprehend. They have limited abilities to comprehend such an important moment in our history.
Okay, there have been some voices from the opposition though, even from the parties that are most critical of the BJP, who have applauded the current government for the successful conduct of the G20 summit and for its outcomes. I'm also joined by Kovai Satyan, who is the spokesperson of the AIA-DMK. Kovai, how do you see the aftermath of the G20 summit in the national capital? Do you see that this is one more edition in quote-unquote the legacy of the Prime Minister and the reason why he continues to be so popular, and the public will respond to this? Do you think this matters to the ordinary citizen, the conduct of such a big event and how the world views us?
Certainly, there is a positive aura, not only across India, across the globe. The person who walks the talk is the expectation from a leader. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, walks his talk. And he puts the nation as his topmost priority and the people of India as his topmost priority. And that gets resonated in the global arena. There is a positive vibe, the way he conducts himself and the messages he sends across to the people of India as well as to the world. And this is a landmark event as far as India is concerned. And the way it was held and the way it was carried out, the meticulous planning and the outcome of G20, which received praise across the globe from different political leaders, stands a testimony that no stone were left unturned as far as this event is concerned, and the inclusion of African Union is a masterstroke. While we can talk about it for hours together, while the opposition will definitely have their burn-all moments every time when we talk about the achievements, in the nutshell, this is a grand success.
Okay, we're getting some more movement we're witnessing at the BJP headquarters. Not sure exactly whose cavalcade this is, because we are expecting both Home Minister Amit Shah, and it looks like it is Home Minister Amit Shah who has arrived. So the Prime Minister is left, but Home Minister Amit Shah also there. Rajnath Singh and other ministers have already arrived at the BJP headquarters. There are, of course, other leaders who have also come. For example, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister is also there. This is, of course, a CEC, that is to discuss the candidates for the upcoming state elections. Madhya Pradesh is going to be very key for the BJP, given that they would like to extend their record there and continue their terms there. But looks like they could face a bit of a challenge because of anti-incumbency this time around. So they'd like to cut that. BJP tends to like to go for a lot of new faces. They do cut tickets quite a bit of their sitting MLAs. Could that happen once again? And of course, there are other elections in Rajasthan where the government changes hands every term. So the BJP would expect to come back to power there after Ashok Gehlot's term. And there is, of course, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and other states, some sooner than the others. But of course, the BJP CEC meeting on the upcoming elections certainly turning into a celebration celebration of the G20 conduct by the government the weekend gone by. Okay. So the Home Minister Amit Shah has also arrived at the BJP headquarters. We're just awaiting the Prime Minister. Arun Thata, my colleague, is with us. Arun, only the Prime Minister left now?
Well, that's right. That's right. All other CC members have already arrived. We just saw the visuals of Union Home Minister Amit Shah reaching BJP headquarters here for all important Central Election Committee's meeting, and in a short while from now we are expecting Prime Minister Modi to reach here at the BJP office. Of course, we saw Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, BJP Chief JP Nadda, Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav, Ashwani Vaishnav, and all other Delhi BJP MPs. They all are here at BJP office now. Prime Minister Modi is the one who left, and all these BJP workers have gathered here, just to see and welcome Prime Minister Modi. So their wait will only get over once Prime Minister Modi enter the gate. We are seeing that the entire route has been sanitized. There is a route for Prime Minister's arrival here. No other vehicular movement in that route. We are seeing, in fact, on the other side of the gate that there is no vehicular movement, which means that Prime Minister Modi, might be reaching any moment from now. All other members of CEC and union ministers are already present here in the BJP office, and of course, when we will see all these ministers and members coming out of the BJP office, that will be a signal that Prime Minister Modi is reaching. So at this moment, all the leaders are inside. Perhaps it will take 5-10 minutes more for Prime Minister Modi to reach here at BJP
Arun, just give me an
office,
opportunity. I'll come back to you in just a bit. Let me just quickly go across some of the guests who are joining us. You mentioning it could take 5 minutes more for the Prime Minister to come. So Tuhin Sinha of the BJP is with us. We've also got AIADMK's Kovai Satyan, and Manojit Mandal is political analyst, leans towards the TMC, is also with us. Manojit, let me come to you this time. It was, of course, expected that the government or the BJP as a party is going to make huge celebrations or make a big deal about the G20 conduct. And the opposition, might approve of it or not approve of it. But this is, as the BJP would say, another feather in Narendra Modi government's cap.
No, I think we will like to reserve comment on this particular event when it comes to election. BJP is always in this kind of mood to create uproar about some international events being part of their electoral campaign. We do not believe in this. We have a stated position for many of us that when it comes to foreign policies, we will be solidly behind the government. But it cannot be used for any political dividends. The fact remains that I think many of the G20 leaders may not be knowing how the oppositions are targeted in this country. In fact, today itself, the All India Trinamool Congress General Secretary, when he was supposed to attend this meeting of the coordination committee of the Team India, he is being grilled by ED for no reason. Years, he has been singularly targeted. I mean, look at the age of this person. He is barely 34, 35, and half the age of Mr. Modi, and he has been targeted for no reason. If there are any evidences against this person, you must, he has said that he show me the evidences. I am there to willingly, take any punishment. But look at the way he has been deliberately harassed. Not just Abhishek Banerjee, his family is being harassed for the last 2-3 years.
Okay.
Even his 3-year-old son was not spared by Shubhendu Adhikari. These things will not be known to the people who were our guests.
Okay, but let's not mix the two issues. There's always domestic politics in every country, and then there is, of course, international politics. Speaking about, what goes on as far as domestic politics is concerned, there's also a former chief minister who's been arrested in the dead of a night. So, there are, of course, all of these cases that go on in many different states. But I want to talk to you about the G20 success particularly. There is a special session of the parliament also coming in. We don't quite know the agenda of that session, but we do know that now on 7 17th, one day ahead of that special session, a joint parliamentary meeting will take place. The opposition has been a little bit cagey or a little bit, concerned about the agenda of the next session. We don't know what that is going to be, but certainly the success or the aftermath of the success of the G20 will continue, possibly even inside Parliament, Manuji.
I mean, I really don't understand one thing when you're talking about the internal democratic dynamics of this country and the treatment that opposition is being given for the last 5-6 years. How are you going about it? I mean, we are not hard. I mean, forget about how we are hard inside the parliament. I mean, you have all the data in front of you, starting from that very famous farm law, when many of our MPs were suspended. 19 of TMC's MPs were suspended for no reason, and ultimately the government had to take back the law. I mean, the same thing happened with one of the Congress leaders from Bengal, during the last session of the parliament. So even inside the parliament, opposition is not properly heard.
Okay. Let me take that to Tuhin of the BJP, who's with us for a few more minutes. Tuhin, can you respond to that? All of the euphoria and celebrations around G20, fine enough, fair enough, and many kudos to the government. But of course, there are other things to be done as we now focus shifts to domestic politics.
Shivani, I hate to say this, but we have seen the leadership quality of a country pre-2014. Do you remember the Sharm el-Sheikh episode of 2009, where the then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh had embarrassed the country, by giving Pakistan a handle to beat India with? We have seen how India used to handle Pakistan at that point of time. So when you compare the present leadership with then, today we have made Pakistan redundant. Pakistan is absolutely redundant. After this India, Middle East, European corridor, China's expansionist moves are fading away. They are equally redundant. So this is the success, and I think we should have the heart to celebrate our success. We should take greater pride in our successes as a nation. And of course, we need to acknowledge that Prime Minister Modi's dynamic leadership is at the forefront of this transformation, is at the forefront of this change. We don't want to be we don't want to be apologetic about our successes like, the Congress party has been of its limited success. We want to celebrate our success so that we also set an example for the future leadership of this country that Indian politics needs to transcend beyond local issues. I think, the success at the international forum is only going to improve things. It's only going to improve discourse even within the country.
Well, we are awaiting the arrival of the Prime Minister at the BJP headquarters, and possibly as the quote-unquote special session of the Parliament convenes in a few days' time from now, we will have more of these exchanges taking place around the G20 conduct and success, and possibly some celebrations to be witnessed inside Parliament. Because, mind you, this is not just a special session for which it looks like the government has something up its sleeve. It's also going to be conducted from the second day onwards in the new Sansad building. So that's going to be an occasion to celebrate in itself. Let me also go back across to my colleague Arun Dhata joining us. Arun, looks like the people there having to wait a little bit more.
Well, see, Shivani, we are given to understand there is a slight delay, vis-a-vis Prime Minister's arrival here at BJP headquarters, because it is already 7:30 and, the wait is getting longer for Bharatiya Janata Party workers who've gathered here from Delhi NCR. But we are told that Prime Minister Modi will come, but there is a slight delay. And we are also given to understand that Prime Minister Modi, the cavalcade hasn't actually started from his residence 7 LKM as of now. So perhaps because the distance, the time is somewhere around 8 to 10 minutes, which it will take for Prime Minister Modi to reach BJP office from his residence. Of course, the entire route will be sanitized. There will not be any vehicle on the road, but still it will take 8 to 10 minutes. So when Prime Minister Modi hasn't left from his residence, that means it will perhaps take 10 to 15 minutes more for Prime Ministers to arrive here. Meanwhile, of course, stage is set for Prime Minister Modi's welcome here. BJP workers are desperately waiting for Prime Minister Modi. All the other top leaders of BJP, they are already inside BJP headquarters. headquarters, waiting for that signal to come from the PMO side, as to when they have to come out at the gate to welcome Prime Minister Modi. So in a short while, of course, we will be expecting Prime Minister Modi to reach here at BJP headquarters, and we will see, of course, all the top leaders of BJP will be lining up to welcome Prime Minister Modi at the entry gate of the BJP office.
Back to you. You're saying it could take a few more minutes. The PM hasn't left his residence. Let me also quickly go across to my colleague Payal, who's also at the BJP headquarters. Payal, how is the BJP looking at the challenges coming up ahead as far as the state elections are concerned? MP, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh particularly.
Shivani, these are the crucial elections ahead of next year's big election, which is of course the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Now, in 2018 also the BJP did not do well in any of these elections. The BJP lost all the three states in the Hindi belt, whether it is Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. But obviously 2019 showed a different result. But the party also understands that in 2019 and in 2014 they won in Modi's name, and 2024 is no different. But assembly elections are entirely different as far as that is concerned from the central elections as well. So that's something which they are really looking at. Now, Madhya Pradesh is where they did not have the mandate in 2018, but of course with Jyotiraditya Scindia bringing in people, they were able to topple that government of Kamal Nath and form a government over there as well. Madhya Pradesh, they tried, but they have not had any inroads and they were not able to topple the Gehlot government over there as well. Chhattisgarh is looking at pro-incumbency as far as Raman Singh, as far as Bhupesh Baghel is concerned. So obviously the BJP is aware of all these developments, and that's one of the reasons in the history of BJP, Shivani, they never announced tickets and never had CAC meetings before the parliament, before the dates were announced. But this is the year the BJP holding its second round of meeting as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. We're given to understand that possibly by the end of this month or early next month, they could announce all the tickets that are concerned as far as Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh are concerned. They haven't touched upon Rajasthan so far, but even Telangana, they'll be announcing their candidates pretty soon, because the BRS, which is the ruling party, has already announced most of its tickets, barring 4 as well. So it's a different set of an election. They do understand that you may have a very powerful government in the centre, but at the end of the day, India is a federal country, and India has a very significant federal structure in place. So if you don't have governments in the state, it's very difficult to implement certain rules and also pass certain bills within the states, and that also impacts the overall scheme of things, because that impacts your Rajya Sabha seats as well. So all of this, keeping all of these in mind, the BJP is acting swift, they're acting fast. The Prime Minister will be in Chhattisgarh tomorrow. He's going to be campaigning in Chhattisgarh tomorrow, so the campaign trail would have already begun. But it is ahead of the start, ahead of the announcement of the election days by the CEC. So it's quite a thing to watch out for in terms of the strategy that the BJP is adopting this time around.
Yes, as you very rightly mentioned, Payal, the strategies have shifted, and not just for the BJP. The strategies seem to be shifting across political lines, because everybody is wanting to kind of get off the blocks, not really waiting to see when the elections are going to be announced or what the exact dates are going to be, because of course there's a limited window, or a window that is known to everybody in which these elections are going to take place. So of course we've got 3 state elections coming up first, and then a couple others as well. There is some movement taking place on the street outside the BJP headquarters at Deen Dayal Marg. I think it could well be the Prime Minister's cavalcade, but we're not sure. The Prime Minister is the one that is expected now, and as the visuals speak for themselves, a lot of the party workers, supporters have joined in. While this is a CAC meeting focused very much on the elections that are coming up, and a few states could well be a headache or two for the BJP, but the public and the party workers especially are overjoyed. There is still a celebratory mood, a mood of euphoria as far as the party is concerned.
मैं सुनीता शर्मा मंडल महामंत्री हूँ.
All right, it looks like, Payal, the gates are being opened.
Right. We try and bring in those visuals to our viewers, because our colleagues Anshul and Arun Datta are there at the vantage points from where the Prime Minister's cavalcade will be seen. I'm inside tracking the meeting of the CEC as well.
Yes.
So obviously, it's any time now that you will see the Prime Minister really come in as far as that is concerned. And you made a very interesting point, and I want to just continue on that. You made a very interesting point of BJP and the other parties coming out and announcing the candidates in advance. Now in Chhattisgarh, when they announced 39 candidates, out of those at least 10 or 11 seats were something that BJP never won ever. So that's the kind of a mandate they wanted to give to the people, give the candidates enough time to hit the ground running, and it's a very, very different strategy that they have adopted to campaign as far as those seats are concerned. That is, of course, for a discussion for another time. But yes, a huge welcome, and it's very hot. It's sultry conditions here at the BJP headquarters. much worse where my other colleagues are standing. But obviously we're waiting for the Prime Minister to really come, because every BJP karyakarta who's shown up at the party headquarters has been waiting for at least for the last 3 hours, awaiting the Prime Minister's arrival.
Yes, and we don't quite know if that has started yet, because certainly there is movement and the gates of the BJP headquarters were opened up at least partly, but suddenly there is no movement at all. Arun, you're also waiting there. Give me a sense of what the BJP leaders are saying on ground about the G20 success and why they feel this is so important, because while this is not directly connected to elections, and diplomacy and foreign policy is never the bread and butter topics of any political party in an election like the Lok Sabha elections, for Narendra Modi, foreign policy and taking India's voice to the world, connecting to the diaspora all around the world, those have been actually markers of his tenures. He believes quite strongly in that.
Well, that's right. And in fact, Shivani, if you remember, a few days back, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had given an interview. In fact, he praised the diplomacy of this government. So as far as foreign affairs is concerned, we had seen even opposition parties has in fact praised the government, the work which they've done. In fact, now I'm showing you these visuals. You can see any moment from now, the wait is getting over. Prime Minister Modi will be reaching these visuals. You can see the top union ministers are, holding that flower in their hand on one side, and on the other side, of course, you will see B.L. Santosh meeting B.S. Yadurappa and all other, Sudha Yadav I can see. She is also the member of CEC. Iqbal Singh Lalpura, he is also member of CEC. B.L. Santosh meeting him. On one side, you have these CEC members, having that flower in their hand, and on the other side, right at the entrance of the BJP office, you have Narendra Singh Tomar. I can see, Shiv Prakash is also there. And in fact, Devendra Fadnavis is there. Shivraj Singh Chauhan is there, waving at the BJP workers. Kailash Vijayvargiya is there. V.D. Sharma, the BJP state head of Madhya Pradesh. They all are outside, which means that any moment, in fact, the gate is also opened there. So any moment from now, we are expecting Prime Minister Modi to enter from that gate. B.L. Santosh is standing there. In fact, he's the BJP National General Secretary organization, very powerful man. On one side you have BJP CEC members, and on the other side all the top union ministers and the top leaders of BJP. So the middle path is completely vacant, of course, so that people who are present here, they can see Prime Minister live, and people who are not present here, they can watch Prime Minister Modi's glimpse through our cameras. Therefore, that is the reason why you see this passage is clear, through which Prime Minister Modi will be entering, and all these people who are standing on the both side of this entrance, they will get opportunity to welcome Prime Minister Modi through showering flower petals on him, and also chanting his name as they have already started doing. So any moment from now we will be expecting Prime Minister Modi's entry, and of course it's going to be a very short span of welcome, because Prime Minister Modi will enter from that gate. He will accept the thank and welcome of the BJP workers, and then of course he will be welcomed by BJP leaders at the main entrance, and then he will be heading inside the BJP
so
office.
Arun, just give me a couple of minutes before I come back to you. The Prime Minister's cavalcade almost set to arrive. Let me take a quick final comment from our guests Kovai Satyan and Manojit Mandal as well. Kovai, first to you, 30 seconds please, on what role you see diplomacy and foreign policy make in how the public chooses the Prime Minister next.
No, there is a paradigm shift in the way things are moving for India. The American support for UNSC is a positive indication. There are already talks about India getting included in the NSG, nuclear supplier group. So these are all global politics, which probably the common man might not be able to understand. What the common man's pride will be like, India rising its head high in the global arena, from the land of snake charmers to the land where it has got global importance, is what the common man is able to understand. The people have seen the transition of India's image locally as well as globally. I think they are taking pride on that. We are holding our head high among our fellow Indians as well as who are there in abroad, who are Indian citizens working in abroad, also keeping their head high, stating that yes, I am from India.
Okay, Kovai, thanks a lot for joining us. Let me also give a final opportunity to Manojit Mandal. As there is some more activity taking place at the BJP headquarters, the leaders are stepping towards the gate to welcome the Prime Minister, it seems. But Manojit, 30 seconds, this could be the Achilles heel of the opposition bloc, isn't it? The fact that you don't have a face to match the credentials of the Prime Minister. People are asking, who's going to lead this alliance? In fact, Mamata Banerjee was asked this question by the Sri Lankan Prime Minister.
First of all, India has never been the country of the snake charmers. That's the Orientalist description given by the West. Please don't use this kind of word. India has always remained a fascinating country for the last 5,000 years. Forget about the credentials. I mean, we certainly don't criticize what the Prime Minister is doing in G20. But we know that internally the country is in doldrum. Even 1 month back, we were talking about how Manipur was burning. We know how the price is rising. I mean, these issues are very much there. And on top of that, how the opposition is treated in this country. A country's internal democracy could be recognized by the way our opposition is given the space inside the parliament and outside the parliament. On both the counts, I think this government has terribly failed. They have used their long arms, income tax, ED and CBI, to muzzle the voice of the opposition. And inside the parliament, they have used the chair of the speaker to muzzle the voice of the opposition.
Okay, but Manojit, you didn't answer my question. Don't you think for the public, it is important to know who the Prime Minister will be when they vote in the Lok Sabha elections?
I repeat, there are 12 candidates who could potentially be the Prime Minister, and all of them were quite senior to Mr. Modi, including my Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. When Mr. Modi was not even known in Indian political scenario, Mamata had remained the railway minister incidentally in the Vajpayee government in 1998. So that's it. There are people who could potentially lead this country, and this country, I repeat, under Mr. Modi, I mean, the markers of democracy that I have mentioned is not really running that way. You may create this euphoria, that's fine. G20 was success, you may create that euphoria, but internally, the internal democracy of this country is not really functioning properly.
Okay, Manojit, I do appreciate you for joining us. Thanks a lot for those comments. We see Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah and others standing with what seems to be a flower stem with them to welcome the Prime Minister. And it looks like finally the Prime Minister will be arriving. Some delays have taken place, so he's arriving pretty late. The timing was pre-7 p.m. Because the meeting time was 7 p.m. But clearly that meeting is going to be delayed now. Let me quickly go back across to my colleague Payal as well. All right, Arun, my colleague, is continuing to be with us. So, Arun, it looks like it's going to be just a minute or so now.
Well, that's right. All the BJP leaders are outside, the likes of Rajnath Singh, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and you have B.S. Yadurappa, Satyanarayan Jatia, B.L. Santosh, Sudha Yadav, Iqbal Singh Lalpura. These are the people who are part of the Central Election Committee, and BJP Chief JP Nadda is right outside. They are at the main entrance. So what will happen that Prime Minister Modi will enter from that gate, and he will be welcomed by BJP Chief JP Nadda there on the outside gate, and then perhaps both of them will come by foot towards the inside gate of the BJP office. You can see the visuals of the Prime Minister's
cavalcade actually entering the BJP headquarters gate. These are the visuals that are coming in. So it is already being showered with a lot of petals. We can't even see the Prime Minister actually sitting in the front seat because the petals are showering from top. He's getting out where the gate itself is, or coming a little bit ahead, where the BJP leaders and ministers, government ministers, are waiting for the Prime Minister's welcome. Yes, Arun, so the Prime Minister's vehicle has entered the BJP headquarters. I think he's just about to exit now, and will be soaking in all the adulation and the felicitations of not just the BJP workers, but of course top government ministers there, state chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of the BJP also there at the BJP headquarters. And there is the Prime Minister being showered with petals, flower petals, and being welcomed at the BJP headquarters. Arun.
Well, that's right. This is the first glimpse of Prime Minister Modi, and both JP Nadda, as he welcomes Prime Minister Modi, will be walking towards the main entrance of BJP, and of course you will have BJP workers on the both sides of this entry. They have their mobile phones out, and Prime Minister Modi, in fact, you see, started waving towards the crowd, the gathering, the BJP workers who've been waiting here patiently for Prime Minister Modi. It's because it's been more than 3 hours since they are here at BJP headquarters. Now you see the visuals. BJP chief JP Nadda accompanying Prime Minister Modi, and Prime Minister Modi ensuring that every bit of the corner is covered, where he's waving to these BJP workers, because he knows that these people have been waiting for Prime Minister Modi for a long time here at BJP headquarters, and therefore Prime Minister Modi getting out of his car and covering the distance from the main gate to the inside gate by walking on the route. And in fact he's coming with BJP chief JP Nadda, and on the other side you can see, of course, Rajnath Singh, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and also you have Ashwani Vaishnav, you have Bhupendra Yadav. They all are waiting here for Prime Minister Modi. They all will be welcoming Prime Minister Modi, but right now you see that Prime Minister Modi in the middle of that road, where he will, in fact, he's waving his hand on the both sides of the road. BJP workers are in fact showering Prime Minister Modi with flower petals, and also raising the name of Prime Minister Modi for the grand success which he achieved vis-a-vis G20 is concerned. You can see Prime Minister Modi once again waving both hands and thanking the BJP workers who have gathered here to welcome Prime Minister Modi. And in fact, by this gesture, and in fact he's been saying this, that this achievement is not of government only, it is about the people of this country, because without their participation, the manner in which they planned the events in the entire country wasn't possible. So therefore Prime Minister Modi giving that 2 to 3 minutes for people to actually welcome him from the main gate to the inside entry. Now it is coming to the top leaders, Rajnath Singh at the front, welcoming Prime Minister Modi, giving that flower. Of course, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, you have Yadurappa, Satyanarayan Jatia, BL Santosh, Sudha Yadav, Iqbal Singh Lalpura. These all are going to sit with Prime Minister Modi in that CEC meeting, all crucial CEC meeting. And on the other side, of course, you will have Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, because it's Madhya Pradesh today which will be discussed in the CEC meeting. You have Devendra Fadnavis, Shiv Prakash, Ashwani Vaishnav. Now Prime Minister Modi has entered the BJP headquarters. So in a short while from now, after this grand welcome by BJP workers, we will be seeing that the BJP CEC will get into action and sit to decide the candidates for Madhya Pradesh Assembly election. So Prime Minister Modi, along with all other senior leaders, have entered the BJP office, and in a short while from now, CEC meeting will begin. And all these people of Bharatiya Janata Party who were waiting for Prime Minister Modi for a long time have finally managed to get the glimpse of Prime Minister Modi and got the opportunity to actually welcome him by showering flower petals on him, and also shouting his name loud and clear here at the BJP office.
Absolutely. The Prime Minister is now inside the building. Arun, thanks a lot for taking us through that entire period when he was being welcomed, outside. And of course, Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh now heading towards what it looks like the meeting. The Prime Minister also being escorted by BJP President JP Nadda inside. So the Prime Minister receiving a grand welcome, and there are actually quite a few hundreds of people there, BJP supporters. They are also making their way out now. For barely 2 minutes of glimpse of the Prime Minister, a lot of these supporters were standing there for well over 3 hours in sweltering Delhi weather. Senior leaders of the BJP have welcomed the Prime Minister, including the BJP President, with flowers, flower petals, a stole, and of course, more flowers today. My colleague Payal is also there inside the BJP headquarters. Payal, that meeting is all set to begin. It was a grand welcome, but a short one because the meeting is pending.
Yes, it is going to be work first as far as the BJP leadership is concerned, and that's something which has been an evident trademark over the last 9 years as they build up to the next set of elections in 2024. Having said that, the visuals show one thing very, very clearly, that while most of the leaders have moved on and gone to the 5th floor of the building where, of course, the CEC meeting is going to take place, but I did see Prime Minister Narendra Modi and JP Nadda walk into JP Nadda's office in the ground floor. So they're probably going to sit down for some time and have a separate set of meetings as well, because JP Nadda is the party's national president. He's somebody who's in charge of the party. He's somebody who plays a very, very important role, and you have upcoming elections in the state as well. So obviously, the Prime Minister is likely to have a short little meeting with him and discussion with him. And of course, now we can see that all the other leaders, and I did see Home Minister Amit Shah, I did see, Rajnath Singh and other CEC members head towards the 5th floor of the building, where, of course, in the conference room, they're going to have this meeting of the CEC. State leaders are already present over there. Shivraj Singh Chauhan was there. There is, of course, B.D. Sharma, who is the party's state president for Madhya Pradesh. Ashwini Vaishnaw, who is the co-in charge. Bhupendra Yadav being the election in charge of the state of Madhya Pradesh. So all of these leaders have gone inside as well. And it's going to be a very, very crucial meeting, like I said, because, the BJP is looking at getting the early advantage. The BJP announced its first list of candidates for Madhya Pradesh already. They're looking at probably releasing a second list of names, and what I was given to understand by way of sources is that, Shivani, they will be in all probability announcing all the tickets ahead of sometime late next month. And obviously now you can also see that it is a very, very crucial step, given the fact that the BJP understands the seriousness of this election. So 2019 was different, and 2024 is extremely different as well. The BJP did not have the mandate as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. They were looking at massive anti-incumbency in Madhya Pradesh, and that's one of the reasons the elections did not go as per their prediction in 2018. But yes, of course, with the help of Jyotiraditya Scindia, who was able to bring in a lot of MPs, MLAs with him, the BJP was able to topple that government of Kamal Nath. But in 2023, when we're going to have the Madhya Pradesh election in a couple months of now, there is, of course, all the power and the might that the Congress party is also putting behind Kamal Nath as well. So that's a very interesting election to watch out for. And it's a very, very important election, given the fact that Shivraj Singh Chauhan is one of the oldest serving chief ministers of the state.
Yes.
And the Madhya Pradesh is the oldest organization of the BJP in terms of the organization structure.
No, absolutely. And while they didn't win the last elections, they did come to power. So again, the anti-incumbency factor comes back to haunt the BJP, even though they weren't the winners of the last election. So it's going to be an interesting few elections, especially Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan, we know that it tends to go one way or the other every term. But Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh are possibly where the BJP could want to save any, discomfort that they could face. On that note, our live coverage of the Prime Minister's arrival at the BJP headquarters ends. A big thanks to our reporters and also our guests for joining us. I'm slipping into a very short break. My colleague Anand Narasimhan joins you on the other side with the right stand.
Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to win over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summons, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. Well, the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India Front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India Front. So, therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India Front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win tickets, seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to win over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamata because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place? Because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India Front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. Well, the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India Front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India Front. So, therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India Front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large...
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. We begin with a grand welcome for Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the BJP headquarters as the party Karyakartas, senior leaders and functionaries within his government and cabinet congratulated him on the success of the G20 summit in New Delhi. He was felicitated by the cadre and it was a grand celebration of the G20 success. Prime Minister arriving to great number of cheers and hoots from the Karyakartas who had assembled at the headquarters, and then he was greeted by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and of course BJP National President JP Nadda, along with a host of other leaders and functionaries of the BJP. The PM, we are given to understand, is still at the BJP headquarters. Is there going to be a meeting and a manthan of the way forward? What next? We'll have to wait and watch, but he is not addressing the gathering or speaking to them at the moment. I think the focus will be on what's going to happen in the coming weekend, where they're going to launch the entire Vishwakarma Yojana on his birthday when he completes 73, and of course the special session of Parliament, the business ahead in the coming week. So exciting and busy times ahead. But let's quickly move on, because earlier in the day, the Cabinet, along with giving a go-ahead for the e-courts budget for nearly 7,200 crores, has also given an additional thumbs-up of 1,650 crore for the Ujjwala scheme that gets a big boost. And this is for new, fresh LPG connections. 75 lakh new connections will be given out very, very soon. Then, let's get to the next picture of the day, ladies and gentlemen. These are pictures. 50 feet excavation in Ayodhya and remains of an ancient temple have been found, corroborating the claims made by crores of Bhakts for over 500 years, saying that there was a temple of Ramlala there and it was raised and a structure was built above it. And they said this is what Champat Rai, the president of the Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Trust, has very clearly put, and multiple pictures where statues, pillars, stones, carvings and have been found, and the excavation was done by the ASI team, or the Archaeological Survey of India, back in 2002. In another good news, and this is in terms of our Vikas and also our Samrik Shakti or defense capability, the C-295 aircraft is now officially part of the arsenal. The first of the many aircraft has now been delivered by Spain. The deal was signed about 2 years ago. 21,000 crore plus deal, the capacity of 5 to 10 tons. It can carry around 70 soldiers, and also quick para-dropping of troops is possible. Indigenous electronic warfare suite has been installed. Bulk of the aircrafts will be assembled and made in India from 2025 onwards in Vadodara and Gujarat by Tata. But this is Airbus's delivery. The second aircraft should be there sometime in 2024. But ladies and gentlemen, let's now shift focus to the main debate, the first debate, and it is around Sanatan Dharma. Is it a diversionary tactic? And has the DMK been told by the larger alliance of the INDIA to tone it down and focus on the issues which the larger grouping wants to focus on for 2024?
को इस प्रकार की बीमारियों से आप कंपेयर करते हैं? ये लोग जो इस माटी के नहीं हो पाए, जिस मिट्टी में कंकड़ कंकड़ संकर जहां बसता है, वो इस देश के गरीब के क्या हो पाए?
The larger question is, even as there was instruction clearly to the BJP and the top brass that go after those who attack Sanatan Dharma, the question was, why is the DMK taking such a strong position and suddenly so? And is it going to be palatable for the entire alliance, that is the Indian National Developmental and Inclusive Alliance that's been formed, this committee of nearly 26 parties? Because a lot of them were very cagey about coming in full support. In fact, the JDU, a lot of voices within the Congress party, barring Priyank Kharge and G. Parameshwara, and a lot of other parties, including the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, RJD and the others, were giving very broad-brushed defenses to the DMK. And some of them, like KC Tyagi, openly said, we don't agree, they have a different position. But why would they do it? Now, has there been an indication to Udayanidhi's father, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Thiru N.K. Stalin, from the larger grouping, listen, tone this down, this is not where we want to go for 2024, if you're part of the INDIA. So this is what it is. While the Prime Minister remains silent on everyday issues impacting the common man, his cabinet focuses on Sanatan Dharma by flooding false narratives and fueling it with the support from a few media outlets. I urge our DMK leaders and cadre not to react to such divergent tactics and continue posing questions to the BJP on Manipur violence. Adani Hindenburg, a whopping 7.5 lakh crore rupees flagged in CAG report and other pressing issues, along with highlighting 9-year failures of the BJP. We will keep posing questions and so will INDIA. This is Stalin's, Chief Minister Stalin's post today. Just the other day, he had backed in the letter that was written to the Prime Minister, or in response to the Prime Minister's instructions that sources had quoted, he had backed his son Udaynidhi. Today saying it's the BJP that's harping on Sanatan Dharma and not DMK. Now, Tamil Nadu BJP President K. Annamalai has responded and he said, Thiru Stalin, to begin with, while we still wait for your answers on BGR energy scam, nutrition kit scam, transformer supply scam, CMRL scam, ETL infra scam, transport scam, Nobel Steel scam, TNMSC scam, HRNC scam and many more. 11 of your sitting ministers have corruption cases pending on them. One of your ministers without portfolio is in prison for cash for job scam. The attack on Hindu Dharma by your son and your party men is a diversion to the above scams, and we kindly request you to stop embarrassing yourself misquoting the CNAG report just by relying on a piece of paper in your hand. So this is what is the response that's come from Annamalai. So the larger question, ladies and gentlemen, then is this a diversionary tactic? Now, soon after that, Vanati Srinivasan of the BJP again, she's also tweeted what's happening on ground. While Stalin says tone it down, Vanati Srinivasan says, and I'm just going to come here, Vanati Srinivasan says, in Tamil Nadu, Government Arts College Thiruvarur is requesting the college students to participate and share their views on opposing Sanatan on the occasion of CM Annadurai's birth anniversary. And she's asking, is the DMK government is poisoning the minds of the students? Is it not against the basic values and rights enshrined in our constitution? She has written this letter in Tamil and she's quoting, put this letter in Tamil and she's saying this is what is being asked. This is what is being asked of students in college in Thiruvarur. Government Arts College, Tamil Nadu Government Arts College is asking people to write an essay on opposing Sanatan, share their views. Now, let's get into it. Diversionary tactic against the constitution, basic tenets enshrined, and is this not bigoted? How is this secular? Many questions arise. But the larger question is this a diversionary tactic? Let's go across to our guests. Vinod P. Selvam, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. We also have Professor Chandan Gowda, who is the Ramakrishna Hegde Chair, Professor ISEC, and Sumant C. Raman joining us, political affairs analyst. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Namaste and Jai Hind. Vinod P. Selvam, first question to you. The BJP is alleging it's a diversionary tactic away from the corruption charges.
See, today the DMK and its Supremo, they are in absolute frustration, majorly because of the failures of their own government, and now they have absolutely no control over what's happening in the state. Even today, if you have noticed, the Enforcement Directorate is on a spree raiding several people associated with DMK, majorly into sand quarrying. And so much incriminating evidences and documents are being recovered from their ministers and from their henchmen on almost an everyday basis. Now, the Supremo of DMK trying to call anyone corrupt is the biggest joke of the year. His father, the previous CM of Tamil Nadu, was given the famous title Father of Corruption. So, coming from this status and seeing all the problems happening in Tamil Nadu, to divert people from that, they harped on to the issue of opposing Sanatana Dharma. Unfortunately for them, it has backfired so much across the country, especially amongst their own alliance parties, their partners. Everyone has come out and hit out against the DMK. Today, if you had noticed, the spokesperson, an MP from the Aam Aadmi Party, has called Udaynidhi Stalin a small leader. He has mentioned saying we don't take into consideration comments made by small leaders of parties. But ironically, Udaynidhi Stalin seems to be the prince of DMK, And that's how he's being treated by his party men. All the seniors have to go fall on his feet and pay his respect to them. And that's the kind of scenario which we have in the state
some
today.
senior members or larger other parties of the INDIA take them seriously or not, the BJP certainly is taking him very, very seriously. And you have gone across the country, you've gone
we are taking him seriously.
against.
We are taking him seriously because of the comments he has made. We are going to stand for the Sanatana Dharma. These are the basic principle on which this country is built. And BJP is never going to let any political organization try to shake the base of this country.
The argument that you are saying is that they have so many corruption charges, and because that's being raked up, this is a diversionary tactic to try and just stir up emotions. Professor Chandan Gowda, where do you stand?
The thing of, I would not see it as a diversionary tactic, because, I mean, it's such an easy thing to say. At least in this case, both of them seem to be talking about things that appear to be diversionary. If you look at Stalin's comment, he's saying you're diverting us from Manipur violence, the CAG scam. These people are saying you're diverting us from the scams that, afflict you. So, in my view, I think we should treat the issue at hand with the seriousness it deserves, and not give in to this claims and counterclaims of what is diversionary or not. So, yeah, what do we discuss tonight, Nassim?
No, what is diversionary or not? The point is suddenly all these scams are being raised, and suddenly you have Udaynidhi, Stalin, Ponmudi, everybody coming after Sanatan Dharma. All these days they didn't have a problem even if they did. Second point, Professor Chandan Gowda, is then if they really stand by what they are saying, then how are they secular? Are they not bigoted? Are they not fascist? Are they not Hindu-phobic? And if that is the case, should they continue to occupy that chair? Is it not grossly violation of the principles enshrined in our constitution?
Well, in fact, each of your questions is a different question. I'll try to remember them. I don't think it's fascist straight away to say there is a problem with Sanatana Dharma, because it's actually saying it can be corrected, reformed.
Yeah, but they didn't say it's a problem. Now, please, he said eradicate it. One of them said eradicate it. Second one said it's like AIDS. A third one said it's a menace. And a fourth one said Sanatana Dharma and Hinduism are not something that we need to fight against, we need to eradicate. So all of them have said finish it off. They have not said end the discrimination within, reform it, correct it. That's not what they have said.
Yes, you're right. I mean, there is hyperbole there. I mean, there's exaggeration. It depends on whether you want to listen to it literally or whether you want to see it's a manner of speaking that's evolved over the years in Tamil Nadu. It's a very Tamil Nadu event. Now, I'm not trying to evade the issue. I wouldn't be caught saying something like that. But if someone wants to speak like that to make a point, I'm willing to listen.
So if somebody else were to say the same of some of the Abrahamic faiths, will you have the same tolerance? Will you have the same standards?
It depends on who.
Why should it depend on who?
Because these people are speaking as insiders.
No, how are they insiders? Please, Professor Chandra, let's stick to facts. At least two of the three have announced themselves to be who have quit, who have exited Sanatan Pratha and embraced an Abrahamic faith. 2 out of the 3 at least. Another 2 of them have also very clearly in a way crypto in their approach. These are people who have left Sanatan Pratha. They are not from within.
This is news to me.
One of them is a baptized Christian, sir. The other one has openly professed embracing Christianity. A third one has also said that, okay, they actually have moved away. So I'm asking you, if they have done so, then is that not a bigoted statement? Secondly, sir, they are not saying we want to clean up Sanatan Pratha. They are saying we want to eradicate it. So if somebody were to say oppose Islam, oppose Christianity, oppose any other faith, then that person is a hate monger, that person is bigoted, that person is a fascist, that person is a phobic. But if somebody says eradicate Sanatan Dharma, then you should listen to their point of view. It's hyperbole.
One thing is very clear. We don't listen to the voices of reform within other religions. I mean, right now we only hear of fundamentalists within Christianity or Islam. Do we know the moderate voices within? Do we know the liberal voices within? They do exist, who are critical of, how certain practices ought not to continue. The Bharatiya Muslim, the women's organization had been asking to end triple talaq for a long time before it was actually banned. Anyway, I have a feeling there are voices of self-criticism are there everywhere. And you're also right to ask, can only insiders speak? Can't outsiders make criticism? They can, but there are definitely constraints on how
no,
much...
but Prof, see, you're making a very rational and sane argument. Nobody is saying don't criticize what's wrong, be it moderates in any faith. And we need to end discrimination. We are all on board with that. But what the DMK leaders are saying, Professor Chandan Gowda, you know very well, is saying that I have a problem with a particular way of life and I want to totally do away with it. And they're making no bones about it. What's surprising, Sumanshi Raman, as I bring you in, is that no courts have taken suo motu cognizance. No chief justices have taken umbrage. Nobody is spewing fire and nobody is looking at somebody with venom giving them no passage of justice. So why these double standards, sir? And secondly, do you agree or disagree that this is a diversionary tactic to stir up emotions, to divert attention?
This is pure and simple shadow boxing between both the sides. As far as DMK is concerned, they have been saying the same thing only for the last 40-50 years. So this is not the first time that they have said this. Nobody had a problem with it over all these years. If the BJP had a big problem with it, they never articulated it in quite this fashion. So clearly the decision was taken to take this statement, which and they have said far worse. So I can show you enough and more videos where the gods have been ridiculed, where Hindu traditions have been ridiculed, mantras have been called as obscene and vulgar and so on. I can show you a lot of that. So this is something they've been saying for 50 years. So the BJP suddenly taking it up and making it a massive issue in state after state, every major leader of the party, including the Prime Minister, speaking on it, is not accidental. Let's be very clear. It's not that suddenly the BJP woke up to the fact, oh my God, DMK is saying this. DMK has been saying the same thing for 50 years.
And Hindus in Tamil Nadu have been voting for it, voting it into power also.
See, that is the point. The DMK today doesn't have anything to lose in Tamil Nadu by saying what they are saying. Because this consolidates the Dravida fringe vote, which goes to the DMK. It consolidates to some extent the minority vote, which is overwhelmingly with the DMK. So I think they don't have anything to lose. BJP also doesn't have anything to lose because they are given a God-given opportunity to take this across the country. The only one who's losing out here is the alliance partners, most notably the Congress. And the Congress does not even realize that this could be an issue where they could lose out in the Hindi belt. So that is why you have got these wishy-washy statements coming from different Congress leaders.
So you are saying abusing Hinduism, abusing Sanatana Dharma makes no difference to anybody south of the Vindhyas. They will still vote for whoever they want to vote for. And it does not deserve the scrutiny of the courts. It should not prick the conscience of the chief justices of courts who took suo motu cognizance and umbrage and had urgent sittings on other issues. But in this case, there's not even a single murmur.
I did not say south of the Vindhyas. In Tamil Nadu, this has been par for the course for the last 50 years. And it is a tragedy that this has not been highlighted to the rest of the country earlier. The fact that this has been going on for so long and people are free to abuse the Hindu faith in Tamil Nadu. Even people in positions of power and influence can say whatever they like. It has been the same way. I mean,
no, but
people
just because it's been the same way doesn't make it right.
It is not right. It has never been right. When has it been right? Nobody can justify it. What Udayanidhi said is wrong. I don't think anybody can justify it. My point is, the fact that this is made an all India issue now has a reason. And that is that the elections are coming nearby. And therefore, the BJP wants to seize on this. And the target is not the DMK, the target is the Congress. And that is why the Congress has not
let
been
Vinod
smart
Selvam
enough
answer
to
that.
refute
Yes, Vinod Selvam.
and distance themselves from this.
Convenient political rhetoric once again.
I understand that.
Once again to give you traction and perhaps some punches in Tamil Nadu where the BJP has failed to make any impact over all these years, reduced to 5 seats all along. That's one argument. Second is that it doesn't matter. It's been going on for 60 years. That's why even the courts don't bother. Nobody else bothers. And Tamil Nadu continues to vote for these parties only, who continue to abuse. And large number of Tamil voter base still is Hindu or Sanatan. Vinod.
It is rather unfortunate that the DMK has been able to motor mouth themselves for all these years. But the BJP has always been opposing them on issues. See, why this is a clear example of diversionary politics is, if you have noticed, a few days back when the raids on the ministers of DMK on corruption charges were happening, they were very vehemently trying to pull up the issue of Hindi. So Hindi and Sanatana Dharma, these two are the trump cards of DMK which they keep playing whenever they are in deep trouble. So today, when they are playing the Sanatana Dharma card, it means they are in deep trouble. And also, it's very important to notice the DMK always uses its third level leaders, third category leaders, or people who are not too prominent. Nothing more than, no one more than A. Raja comes out and speaks so vulgarly on stage about Sanatana Dharma. But today, using their prince of the party, they're using Udayani's talent to voice out. It's basically because of the frustration which has been built in the DMK. And today, this issue has been amplified thanks to the media. Sorry?
No.
Thanks to the media, thanks to social media. The speeches of the DMK ministers, speeches of the DMK ministers, DMK leaders are reaching a larger population. And we feel we are duty bound to defend our faith, our culture, our beliefs. And that is what we are doing. This is more than politics. Everything does not fall in the armpit of politics. This is way more than politics. This is the basis of the country, and that is the reason why BJP has taken this up so vehemently. It is unfortunate that the Congress still wants to keep DMK as a part of the alliance just to win a few seats in Tamil Nadu. But let me tell you, the people of Tamil Nadu are watching. We have the highest number of temples in the country are in Tamil Nadu, and it was rather unfortunate that the HRNC minister, who is supposed to safeguard and ensure that the temples are being well kept and maintained, was on this stage where they spoke and said,
but the reality, sir, is those who are supposed to protect the articles of faith in the constitution, those who are supposed to protect the basic rights and the integrity of all in a secular establishment that is India, those courts have said nothing. Even in Tamil Nadu, the high courts have said they have not taken suo motu cognizance of these aspects. Nobody has gone knocking down the doors of the court saying that take immediate action, ask him to retract, or nobody slapped a defamation suit and takes urgent legal proceedings. Top courts of our country are also silent on this. So, reality. So that means, is it politically convenient for you that this goes on for a while? You want it to stew. Sumantraman, yeah.
No. See, this Anand, Mr. Annamalai put out a tweet with some 10 charges against DMK and all that. Why have they not taken the DMK government to court? They have not. When the DMK was in the opposition on more than half a dozen issues against AIA-DMK ministers, including the then Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy, they took them to court. Now, the BJP makes noises, puts out all these allegations. Then Mr. Annamalai releases DMK files 1, DMK files 2. Nothing is done to follow these things through. Even now, people of Tamil Nadu do not for a moment, in my opinion, think that Senthil Balaji or any of the other DMK ministers are all paragons of virtue and totally honest. But their feeling clearly is that whatever they are facing now from the agencies is more for some political purpose of some bargain being struck, rather than to see that the cause of justice is actually going to be served.
Sir.
And there is enough and more evidence of that in the past with so many leaders who then switched over to the BJP, where all the cases are now
point
lying,
is, sir, if you can say it is political witch hunting, but if you hunt and you find a loot, then that means there has been a loot. So you have to accept.
You have to follow it up.
Then you have to follow it up. I agree. One has to follow it up. Professor Chandan Gowda, Stalin, final word, Stalin's tweet today. Chief Minister Stalin's tweet today and post today telling the DMK to refrain. They're not even coming on the debates and say stop these comments and focus on the larger issues which the alliance wants to do. Is that a message that's come? Enough of this, stop this.
I can't second guess, but it's very clear that the alliance partners have not really robustly endorsed the statements the Chief Minister and his son have made. So that's pretty clear. Please remember, Anand, why would anyone want to enter the Lok Sabha election campaign with a claim of that kind when a big chunk of the country are practicing Hindus? So it's silly to expect the alliance partners to support them. In fact, they would not want it to carry on. In fact, it's almost 2 weeks since the event happened in the small writers' conference. It's an issue on national media. I'm sure Tamil Nadu has moved on. I really don't know. I think my co-panelist Sumant is right that this particular statement has come in handy.
No, but I'm a little surprised here that the whole country, the opposition, the courts have not moved on from Nupur Sharma. But within 2 weeks of them, these 4, 5, 6, 7 leaders brazenly abusing and calling for eradication of Sanatan Dharma, you believe the state and everybody should move on. Isn't this a very, very hypocritical situation, sir? Or a position taken on two entities, and when it comes to about two different disciplines of life or way of life or religions, and that too in our country, speaks volumes about how we are, who we are, and how we think, sir, and how we behave. Speaks volumes. I have to wind up. On that note, sir. I've got a quick update coming through. Prime Minister Narendra Modi accorded a grand welcome at the BJP national headquarters. But now we've got pictures coming through of the PM chairing the CEC, that's the Central Election Committee meet, and that's where they are. The PM is chairing this meet. Some serious conversations are being had, and there is a felicitation once again by the National President JP Nadda. But the PM, beyond the basic aspects of greeting and basic greetings that are being given to him, from beyond that, the cordialities, he's going to move forward, and there are some hard words that are going to be shared. And we are given to understand that the PM does not want the party to lose its focus, lose traction, and get swayed. The nation is on a high on the G20 success, but electoral aspects, electoral challenges remain. The elections in the states, if they go as per time and as per schedule, are in December, and there is a lot that needs to be done, and that's where it looks like the Prime Minister's focus is going to be. Those are visuals coming in from inside of the meeting, and as the media makes their way out, we will also pull out of this story and move to the next story here on The Right Stand. More than 2 months after releasing photos of 45 people who were allegedly involved in the violence at the Indian High Commission in London during a protest on the 19th of March, the National Investigation Agency has identified 15 of them. Our Group Editor Security Manoj Gupta getting us these details, where 15K goons have been identified, and the NIA is preparing to send their details to the Immigration Department to issue lookout circulars against them. So let's break this down further. So what was the provocation? The provocation was that the Indian High Commission was attacked. The action is that the NIA has identified 15K goons via CCTV footage. The provocation was on the 20th of March, where the Indian Embassy was openly vandalized on the streets of London in broad daylight. Lookout circulars are now being arranged after the people are being identified. The provocation was that the Indian flag atop the London Embassy, there was an attempt to rip it off. The NIA is writing